that all right, Rich? Can we have our mayoral candidates up here, please? That's right, still got a couple of minutes left. Kia ora everybody, thank you and welcome. We'll start with the karakia. Me noi tātou. Whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga. Kia mākina kina ki uta, kia mātaratara ki tā. He hi aki ana te atakura. He teo, he huka, he hauhu, ti hei mauri ora. Tēnā koutou katoa nau mai haere mai, ko Mako Barlow, tuku ingoa. It is my privilege to welcome you all here today as Chair of the Thames Business Association and as Thames Coromandel's first elected Te Taro o Te Ika Māori Ward Councillor. A role I'm deeply honoured to hold, having been elected unopposed. Te Taro o Te Ika translates to the barb of the fish. It symbolises strength, connection and the central role tangata whenua play in shaping the future of our district. This name carries deep cultural significance and reminds us of the importance of representation, whakapapa and unity. Some housekeeping rules for today. I took it off the wall. The fire exits in this room are through the exit doors at each corner of the room. One over here, to the left and to the back of me. In the unlikely case of an emergency, the fire wardens, which is myself as well, will direct you to calmly evacuate to the exits and assemble outside Harcourts, which is over in the far corner. Also toilets, we've got toilets to the left out there and we've got a cup of tea and coffee, so if you can help yourself to those. Today is more than just a chance to meet candidates. It's a celebration of community engagement and a celebration of commitment we all have to the future of Aotearoa. Today you'll be hearing from candidates standing for Mayor, Thames Ward Councillor, Thames Community Board and Waikato Regional Council. Each speaker brings their own whakaaro, a unique perspective, priorities and vision for our district. This is your chance to listen, submit questions, and get a real sense of who they are and what they stand for. A special thanks to Sue for her incredible mahi in setting up today's event, Richard Hornell for his ongoing support and contributions to the Thames Business Association, to our wider TBA team and volunteers, especially our Thames High School Duke student volunteer who are here today. Thank you for your support. To everyone here, your presence shows that you care about the future of Aotearoa. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our facilitator for today, Mike Green. Mike brings a wealth of experience, a steady hand, and a deep commitment to our community. We are grateful to have him guide us through today's kōrero. Mike Green.
Thank you, Mike, and welcome everybody. I just want to add my congratulations to Mike Barlow on his appointment to the council as well. So that's a great effort. I just want to make a couple of comments as we kick off. I want to congratulate you all for coming along today. I mean, there are other things to be doing on a midday on a sunny Saturday. So it's nice to see you here. We have a problem in the world at the moment. Democracy all over the place is under threat. People are doing all kinds of things to either co-opt it or subvert it or do nasty things like that. And I just want to reiterate the commitment we have to democracy in this country, and the fact that you people have turned up today to support that. I think that's worthy of comment. In New Zealand, we have a representative democracy, but also a participative democracy. And what normally happens is we sort of get on the other end of everything, and the elections have already happened and people moan and groan that they don't get what they want out of their candidates. And I think getting at the front end of this and doing the participation part is a real credit to people who can come along and participate in what we're trying to do here today. So please acknowledge, and I want to acknowledge the fact that you've turned up here to do that. I want to congratulate in advance all of the candidates. These people have put themselves forward voluntarily and submitted themselves to the, to the electorate for your eventual judgment. And today is the opportunity to put questions to them. We have a considerable number of questions that have been submitted in the last week or so, a couple of weeks, and particularly overnight for the candidates. So I look forward to hearing their responses to that. We are going to stick very closely to time. Where's Karen? Where is she? There she is, right in the front. Okay, so we're going to kick off with each candidate is going to spend 2 minutes to share their vision with to share with you their vision of the district. At 90 seconds, a bell will go, and then they will need to wrap up. So at 2 minutes, it's I reserve the right to sit them down because we've done our time. And then we'll head to a series of pre-prepared questions. We're going to run in alphabetical order, so there is no order other than alphabetical order. And so without any further ado, I'd like to invite Steve Hart to kick us off. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks, Sue. It's great to be here. Nowhere near as many as 2022, but let's jump into it for 2 minutes. I'm lucky. My name is Steve Hart. Many of you will probably seen my stuff around with different media of late. I say I'm lucky. In my career pathway as an ecology architect, I've often been labelled as a visionary. I've been involved in quite a lot of visionary design as an ecology architect, an architect, landscape architect, urban designer and planner. Fusing those disciplines through systems ecology overlaid with permaculture. So it's been design all my entire working career. We've been invited to offer a vision here for Coromandel. The first vision reality is we've got to get rid of the vultures. The system's broken, we've got to fix it. We're overloaded with consultants, we've got to get rid of them. Consultants, engineers, and lawyers. And you know, they're milking it big time. So as soon as we get rid of them, we'll put millions of dollars back in our coffers. What was the result of that? Our rates will go down. Let's not talk about holding the rates or freezing the rates or limiting the rise in rates. It's easy enough to pull them down. Get rid of the vultures. They're milking it. So the system's broken, we need to fix it. How can we fix it? Very easily. As Mayor, I will instigate an entire series of open public forums all around the district every Wednesday night, employing your expertise, your professional character, your qualifications, your can-do, and your how-to bring up the solutions. The Mayor and all the councillors and community board will facilitate those meetings. They won't dictate the meetings, they'll facilitate them. So if we can pull out your expertise, you will design the system. So we need to fix it. Collectively, the system is broken, so we need to fix it. It's quite simple. And as I say, if we can get rid of all those vultures, we're more than halfway there. Now, if you want to understand more of what I've been saying and more of what I've been talking about over the recent period, I've written a 28-page manifesto. If you want a copy of that, email me, or you'll probably pick it up on a few of the Facebook sites around. Otherwise, read the latest Valley profile. Probably many of you have read this week's Valley profile. It's a great little story. I didn't write it. The journalist wrote it. So they had journalistic license to prepare that. It's a great story. Yeah, it's one that stimulates.
That'll be about it, I think, Steve. That's the 2 minutes.
That's our 2 minutes.
That's it.
Thanks, Mike.
Good on you. Patrick Kerr. Thanks, Steve.
Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Kerr. I stand for accountability, back to basics, a fair deal for all ratepayers, targeted economic development. I have a vision for a vibrant Coromandel. My focus is on quality over quantity. Back to basics. We must focus on core council business, roading, infrastructure, waste, rubbish, and parks, etc. That's all. Maori wards. I believe in one person, one vote. I will respect the outcome of the poll, regardless of the results. Personally, I will be voting against. Would anyone like to pay more rates? When Revel and Salt took office in 22, rates were 83 million. Last year, 109 million. This year, 117 million. Their forecast, 28-29, 135 million. There's no limit to their appetite to tax us. We all face a cost of living crisis, and now they want to move from land value to capital value. I will revisit that decision. I stand for fairer rates for all. I will cap rate rises. This year, Council's revenue is 176 million. Council spends 80 million on OPEX, 29 million on staff costs, 5 million in interest, rising to 10 million. We can save 6 to 10% in OPEX. That's 5 to 8 million annually. We must realise significant staff cost savings. Do the basics with less. Is that the end? Is it? That's 2 minutes.
You've got a smidgen longer. That's the warning bell.
Okay. My opponents, Councillor Revel and Mayor Salt, have voted for a plus 36% rate increase. They consulted on rubbish but imposed a Maori ward without asking us. They've increased external debt, planned to be 178 million at the end of the next term, a doubling of interest annual cost from 5. This is not good governance, it's financial vandalism. We need a reset. My commitment to you is back to basics, fiscal prudence, transparency, local decisions made by locals for locals, economic development. Your decision, real change or more mediocrity. Vote Patrick Kerr for Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. And under time. Well done. Denise.
Kia ora everybody. It's great to be here today and to have the opportunity to meet face to face and to share a vision for our future. I've walked the hills and roads of this part of TCDC in all seasons, sometimes in gumboots, sometimes with the wind chasing me back indoors. I know how fiercely we love this place. I remember being shin deep in mud during the aftermath of Cyclone Gabrielle, helping to clear slips and debris from roads and coordinating community and iwi-led emergency responses to rurally isolated communities north of Thames. I'm reminded that when we pitch in together, we're not just looking after land, we're looking after each other. If I'm elected mayor, I want that same spirit of togetherness to guide us. Here are 6 things I'll work on that you can hold me to. Caring for our environment, investing where it matters most with the long view in mind. Fairer rates, a system that's transparent, principled and works for everyone. Strengthening our economy across wards. Keeping rates sensible, securing fairer funding from Wellington and uplifting Māori tourism products and the rainbow tourism sector. Long-term water security, affordable, reliable solutions built in partnerships with our communities. Fair, inclusive workplaces, so our towns are places where everyone belongs and contributes and everyone has somewhere to live. Climate resilience, combining science, local knowledge and matauranga Māori to prepare for what's ahead. I've spent years bridging Māori and Pākehā perspectives. That means I can bring people together who might not have thought they had much in common and honour the ways of the future. This is our moment. I'm asking for your vote and I'm inviting you to join me in shaping Thames Coromandel we can be proud of to hand to our mokopuna, a place where years from now one of our mokopuna will be standing here and they will say they got that moment right and they looked after our place well. Kia ora.
Thank you, Denise. Peter. Just see if we can sort that out.
While they're doing that, if I could, in advance, just apologise for my voice, which deserted me late yesterday afternoon after a long meeting over on Pauanui.
2 minutes.
Just a second, channel.
What about that? Any improvement there or not? Oh my goodness, look at that. Peter, just try your microphone.
And can you hear me? Fantastic.
Yeah, we just need to obviously run through all that again. I'm sorry we haven't got time to do that. Please, Peter.
So thank you for having me to speak to you today, and thank you for being here. I'm here to make a difference. You can see on the screen behind me that Kerry and I have been well embedded in our community over many years. In my role in the community board and as councillor, I have chaired the Thames Coast Shoreline Management Plan panel. I've advocated for the Kopu Marine Precinct and continue to do so that that asset becomes what we want it to be. I have chaired the Porrick Park redevelopment project. I understand the importance of these things to this district and to this ward. I understand the importance of the Thames pool. of new housing in the Thames ward and of Rhodes Park as a safe Rhodes Park for our community. But I stand here today for the district's mayoralty as an independent...
Just a second, what about that? Is that better? No, not on that side. Advice on how to fix that, because I clearly am a technical person.
Shift over this side.
Sounds like a better idea. There's a lot of empty seats over that side. That's one suggestion. Is my microphone working on both sides or not? It is. Why don't we just use this one? Oh, people are shaking. Greg's shaking his head.
Okay, can you hear that? Over this side? Okay. Would you like me to start again? No. So I'm standing here today and for the district's mayoralty. I stand as an independent. I'm not a member of any political party. I'm not affiliated with any political movement, any lobby group, or any activist organisation. I'm standing to provide a new beginning for our district. Experienced leadership in the Thames Coronet. It's a new beginning. We have 4 new councillors. We have a Māori ward. It is a new beginning. Imagine a district without one-lane bridges on State Highway 25. Imagine a district where mining is never put on the table, where we don't see wasted spending, where we can see value for our rates, where council staff get it right first time. I stand to wind back rate increases, to get rid of wasted spending, to ensure that our communities and their needs are heard and understood around the council table. I stand to ensure that our core services, roading, footpaths, waste, water, are all fit for purpose. I stand here with decades of hardened commercial leadership and experience, and I know how to get things done. I stand here to be your mayor. Thank you.
All right, we've had to make some executive decisions on this. Is this speaker working at all? Still not working. All right, we'll take a pause. What we'll do is we'll get the first 3 candidates to do their presentation again. They get 90 seconds, not 2 minutes. We're going to be really pushed for time, but the only way to make this fair is to do that. Don't need it? You heard it? All right, there you go. All right, that's participative democracy. Fantastic, thanks for that. If you... Well, I just offered that, and the rest of the population said no, they heard it, and they did. Yeah, well, I guess I'm holding the mic and I make the decisions. Over here, those people who are struggling to hear, please take a couple of minutes to move over to this side because this speaker here appears to be working. So if you're struggling to hear, please move to this side of the hall. Okay, apparently it's fine over there. I've been reliably informed that the signal is going to both speakers, but somehow the amplifier on that speaker is cutting out, so there's nothing we can do about that. Please, there's plenty of room on that side. If you're struggling to hear, we need to continue with the program. Right. Len.
Kia ora te whanau. Can you hear me? Awesome. All right. Ngā mihi o te rā ki te whanau e huihune. Welcome everybody. My vision for Thames. Very little of the town of Thames is under the ownership and control of council. We have a mix of residential, retail, commercial and industrial. Almost all of it's privately owned, government or services such as fire, police and schools. However, we can leverage the spatial planning work that's already been done and encourage and incentivise locals to get involved. I think it would be smart for Thames to have a tech centre for small startups needing good Wi-Fi, easy parking and most importantly, great coffee. We've got that, all of that in spades. We're 90 minutes away from 3 major cities and we've got some of the best boating, surfing, swimming anywhere in the world right here, a short drive from Thames, the gateway to the Coromandel. The world is changing. Retail is moving to online shopping. We need to work collaboratively with our shop owners, with TBA and Community Board. When Swago and I had our music shops in West Auckland, our sales of print music and tutorial DVDs dived overnight with the advent of the internet and PDF music and YouTube. We had to adapt, and we all have to adapt and work creatively together. Some factors are outside of our control. The entrance to Thames, the roundabout and the bridge next to the golf club, that's a Waikato issue. They budgeted $12 million to replace that bridge. The only tender received was for $18 million, so they pulled the plug on the project. We can advocate with Waikato, but we can't do the job. The same applies to the industrial commercial area at the southern end of Pollen Street. Again, we can advocate and encourage our shared vision, but we need the business owners to be on board. It's innovative thinking. I want visitors to go wow when they drive up Pollen Street. We need to invest a small amount in a visual representation of what a revitalised Thames could look like and use that to inspire and motivate people to be part of the rejuvenation of our beautiful town. So that's the end of what I want to say about my vision for Thames in my 2 minutes, but I'm going to give you another commitment. This podium is going to be replaced. I hate it. I've always hated it. And I'm an audio engineer in a previous life, so we're going to get a new sound system for this hall. That's my commitment to you.
Thanks, Lee. You might want to get onto that now, actually. It'd be great for you. Okay, so we're about to throw a couple of questions that have been submitted to the candidates. And before we do that, I'd like to welcome somebody to the stage who I only met yesterday, but had such a sparkle in her eye and a willingness to be involved, and somebody I thought would actually be great to co-host the discussions and ask some of the questions with me. She is a Year 13 student at Thames High School. Please welcome Annabelle up onto the stage. Here she is. So Annabelle and I are going to ask some questions of the candidates, and we're going to see where we're going to go to there. Please, 1 minute to answer the questions. I apologise for the short time frames. Otherwise, as you can imagine, we would be here probably right up until the election. So the first question is actually for Patrick Kerr. Do you have a microphone there? Jeez. Okay, so rather than jumping up here, we'll just pass the roving mic around. Patrick, you advised in a May 2025 interview that you have a team. Who are the candidates in Team Motive?
Well, it's a chicken and egg issue in effect. Until such time as there are the elections are over, I cannot obviously say this is a team and these are the members of that team. However, my basic principle is that we've got to get back to basics. We have got to get this council. So when you hear all the councillors, can you hear me?
Right up to your lips there, Patrick.
When you get all councillors give their views, there will be a common theme. Now, I can work with those. Speaker. councillors who are... There is a common theme among many of the councillors who are standing. Those are the sort of people I can work with. And that basically is back to basics, fiscal responsibility, and let's get this council sorted out.
Thanks, Patrick.
This question is for Denise. Working in the many community groups is one thing, leading the TCDC is another. What makes you ready to take on the tougher job of mayor?
What makes me ready to take on the tougher job as mayor is that I've worked in tougher places than being a mayor. My roles have included, currently I am the CEO of Te Whāriki Manawahine o Hauraki, which is the Hauraki Women's Refuge. I've worked in central government. I understand fully the role of legislation. I know how to follow legislation. I've been one of the first Māori policy analysts in the country, so I understand policy, I know how to develop policy, but more so, I know what it means to create space for people so that they can participate in decisions that matter to them and to their lives and how they can improve what is occurring for them in their lives. So I'm ready to be a mayor that doesn't want to take over the council, but to be part of the council team. Kia ora.
Thank you, Janice. One for Steve. Yes?
We fixed the microphones because it was very difficult. We hardly heard Denise. So we just need to take a break and see if we can fix it. Even when Patrick was talking, because he wasn't using it properly, we could hardly hear it.
Yeah. Can you hear me when I'm talking like that? Okay, so candidates observe where my microphone is. It's resting on my chin, which is beautifully sanitary, isn't it? So that's where it is. I don't think we're going to have any trouble hearing Steve. Let's give it a shot, shall we? For Steve Hart, these are questions, by the way, too, these are questions that have come from the public, which have been collated and put together. So I only read these questions for the first time last night. For Steve Hart, in your affidavit filed with the courts dated the 14th of the 11th, 24, you described yourself as Stephen of the House Hart, of no fixed abode, unemployable, and Judge Spiller's ruling as an action of debt, bondage, enslavement, and crime of torture with intent to harm or kill him. You also demanded that Judge Spiller and A. Laurie, Chief Executive of the TCDC, be imprisoned for up to 14 years. If you are unemployable, how do you plan to work with Council? There's a couple of questions here. If elected Mayor, how would you propose to work with the said Chief Executive in a positive and constructive way? And if elected to any role in Council, how would you be able to work within the legislation and laws governing all councils? Excellent, 3 questions.
Great question, isn't it? Great question. Did everybody get that question and understood? Did you understand it? Good. Yeah, there's a dog's breakfast out there, a real dog's breakfast. I'm lucky that I've had a look inside quite a lot of law throughout my entire career. And many of you may know of the incidents that I've been involved with recently here with TCDC and the supposed lawsuits. The question, I think, at the end of the day, how am I going to work with the CEO? Well, there's no option. You have to work with the CEO. Simple as that. And I don't hold grudges, I don't hold vendettas, I put all that aside and work and focus on the job at hand. Simple as that. All those other legal matters, they're a side issue.
Thanks, Steve.
For Peter, At the Matarangi Meet the Candidates event, you stated if you had been on the council when the CE's high salary was decided, you would have done it differently. How so? And would you be expecting to set an example to all staff that they can expect lower pay scales in the future?
Excuse me. So the question of Matarangi was with regards to the Chief Executive's salary, and that was a decision that was made by the previous council, and that's one of the facts of life, is that we end up inheriting a whole lot of decisions. We end up inheriting decisions about waste, and the Chief Executive and the Chief Executive's salary is one of those things. Having that being established, I don't believe there's anything that can be done to change that unless there ends up being a reason to change the Chief Executive. And at this point, I see absolutely no reason to do that. What was the second part of the question?
The second part was, would you be expecting to set an example to all staff that they can expect lower pay scales in the future?
I just don't think that's possible legally under our current Employment Act. So the idea of reducing staff salaries is just not something that is legally achievable. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Question for Len, and I'll bring the mic over to you, Len. What lessons have you learned from past council decisions that you would apply differently as mayor, based on the fact that you are in fact mayor, but just in case you're elected the next time round?
What lessons have I learned? My entire role in the last 3 years of being mayor has been a learning experience. There are a number of things that I would probably look at doing in a different way, or approaching the decision-making process in a different way. The big issue when you get around the council table is bringing the team together and getting councillors on board and heading in the same direction. That's tough, and that is something that I'll freely admit that I have not always gotten right. It's a really hard thing to do. We have a very, very capable council made up of smart, intelligent, highly capable people, but their views and their ideas don't always agree with mine. And getting everyone moving in the same direction is a really hard thing to do. I would do things differently in the future, and I've learned a lot of lessons from my last 3 years.
Thanks, Len. Annabelle.
This question is for Denise again. Can you share a time when you stood up for a community that has been excluded, what your approach was to include them, and what evidence is there today that your actions have been sustainable and beneficial for that community?
Kia ora. Can you hear me now? Okay. Kia ora. So a living example is, as I said previously, I led out the establishment of Te Koro Waihaworo Hauraki. The reason for leading that out was because at that time Māori were disenfranchised from the health system. Their health needs were not being met. And as a result of leading that initiative out, the whole of Hauraki, as well as Waikato now, have benefited from that initiative. It's still going. It is one of the largest employers in the country, and that was helped and designed by community at that time who felt they were not being heard, were not being included, and were not being given permission to participate and take care of their own health needs. And as I said before, it now services the whole of this community as well as into the Waikato region. Kia ora.
Thank you, Denise. Question from Richard. Would any of the, I'll address it directly to Patrick, would you reconsider approaching and joining Haraki Waikato for Local Waters LP.
Well, the truth of the matter is that the iwi have disrupted the planned amalgamation of local waters done well. Not our iwi, as I understand it, but it's from the Tauranga side of the equation. We're doing it in-house, so let's just get on and do the job. And if we can, in the future, gain some cost savings, which have never been explained to us, the public, then that's all well and done. Yes, let's get it on. But in the meantime, we've got a perfectly adequate system that still requires further capital. We can do it.
This question is for Steve. What role should the council play in enabling affordable, sustainable housing development, and what socio-economic demographic would be priority?
Sustainable housing, that's yeah, a good one for me. Contingent building staff to start with, they're all totally incompetent. Can't have. I'll use my own voice.
Try that.
Try that. We need competent staff, number one. You know, most of us here are old enough to remember borough councils. Every borough council in the country had retirement housing. If we were returning to that here, let's design model retirement housing. Very easy to do. Very easy to do. In fact, it's one of my specialities in my career. What was the other part of that question?
I'll just read it here. What role should council play in enabling affordable, sustainable housing development, and what socio-economic demographic would be the priority?
Thames is the geriatric capital of New Zealand. We need to look after our elderly people. I'm one of them. I'm 72 years old. So yeah, I'm looking at that as well. The solution is very easy. Let's build a model hamlet for retirees. Very, very simple. And who would benefit? You guess it.
Thanks, Steve. And if I just get it. Question for Peter. If elected mayor, how would you measure your success in office, not just in outputs, but in relationships and trust?
Thanks for the question. I'm a relationships guy. I believe that life actually is all about relationships. So the whole thing of getting relationships working with councillors, with staff, with external stakeholders is an absolute priority. And part of that is getting the engagement with our communities functioning properly so that we actually hear and understand what are the needs and the concerns of our communities. We are going to transform the way that happens. Currently, it's piecemeal, ad hoc, and is incomplete. We need to ensure that our community boards are connected deeply with our communities, and that the community board chairs in sitting around the council table will represent and advocate for all those groups in their communities that are stakeholders in what goes on. That will then, how does that measure? In 3 years' time, you will find communities have got their priorities absolutely clear. What is the number one, number two, number three thing that council has to do for each and every community?
Right, thanks, Peter. Okay, I've got a question for you people. We knew time was going to be an issue. do we continue with questions from here, or do we move to closing statements from the candidates? Show of hands, they get 90 seconds each to sort of summarise themselves. Or should we ask a couple more questions off the board here to different candidates? Show of hands for closing statements, please. Okay, thank you. Show of hands for a few more questions off the sheet. Oh, nice one. Thanks for that. Okay, I'll ask one question and it'll be real quick, and then we'll go to closing statements. I'm going to ask for a volunteer to address this one. Okay, none of you have addressed the elephant in the room, crime and methamphetamine. Given that the Business Association did an anecdotal survey of businesses and citizens of the Thames ward, asking people which was of greater concern and importance to them, rates increases or crime and meth, that every single one of them said that crime and meth is of far more importance to them. Please tell us, and there are three parts to this, why have you not made this a key priority for your election platform? What will you do to address these issues if you were mayor? And what will your KPIs be in terms of addressing those things? So, very quickly, who wants to take that one? I already had a crack at the last question, Peter. I think I'm going to have to pass it to somebody else. Okay, yep, Denise.
Kia ora. The first part is, why have you not made this a key priority as part of your election platform? For me, it is included in my broad sweeping statements about ensuring creating space for everyone who feels they are not included in this community. That includes those who are partaking in crime and users of meth. What will you do to address the issues if I am mayor? If I am mayor, then I will create a space, and there are already spaces for people who are users of meth, and ensuring that the current rehabilitation services, mental health services and alcohol and drug services are actually in communities, in the mangroves where people are living, under the drains where people are living, making sure that the services that are currently being delivered reach people and touch people. In terms of crime, it is also about working with our police and ensuring that our police are enabled to carry out their functions as police and are fully resourced to do so.
Well, thanks, Denise. Well, what we'll do, another change of plan. What we'll do is we'll actually get everyone to answer the question, because I think there's a reasonable amount of interest in the room around that. You answer it, Peter, so you can have a crack at that as well. Those three things. We want to limit responses. We'll limit responses to 1 minute on that. Thanks.
Look, can I just say, crime in this district, but in particular in Thames, is an absolute issue. I would like you, when you get to hear the community board speakers, listen very carefully to Adrian Catron, who has a passion for Thames and an absolute passion for doing something about crime. And I believe when we get to listen around the council table about the issues for Thames, that will be right up there in the top 3 priorities. It's an issue that has to be addressed, and I know that the current chair of the community board, who is standing again, has some very firm ideas about how that can be addressed, along with working alongside the authorities, the police, etc.
Peter, thanks, Peter. Excellent. I'll just pass it to Annabelle, please. I'll put Patrick on next. Crime and methamphetamine.
I don't know either. However, let's face it, we pay taxes to central government to provide social services. We pay taxes, or a land tax, to council to provide infrastructure. Let's not confuse the two. How can council actually suddenly become the policeman? We cannot. What we can do, though, is we can encourage a greater presence from our police, and also encourage, by way of facilitating greater social services through providing property and incentives from council to those service providers. We can't do it any other way. We can't get out there and start policing it. It's a criminal event. What you can do as people and members of this community is make sure you report it to the police.
Thanks, Steve.
One of the key priorities as Mayor, as I said in my 28-page manifesto, there's a dozen in there. Sorry? Crime and methamphetamine. I'll have to support Patrick on that one. Obviously, very close liaison with local authorities. There's no doubt about that. A lot closer and build up the support networks that are there. Obviously, work on developing stronger policy, stronger national policy as well. And what is the root cause? What's behind it all? What's driving drug abuse? Can we go underneath it and find out?
Thanks, Steve. And Len.
Kia ora, thank you. Over the last 3 years, I've met regularly with people providing services to our communities, and look, let's be clear, there are a whole heap of people out there doing fantastic work who are intervening in the lives of young people at a critical stage and making a real difference. We need to support them, and council is often the first place that people call and say, hey, we've got a problem. I have a zero tolerance for meth houses and for houses that people are dealing drugs from. The police need to know about this. We as a community need to be supporting the police and the services in the work that they do, and often the plea from them is that we can only act if we get the community helping and informing us. So the community has a role to play. We can facilitate and intervene.
Thanks very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time. We are out of time. Thank you very much to each of the candidates for coming along today and for voicing their opinions around the issues. None of these candidates saw these questions in advance, so I think, you know, handling them, it's a correct way they handle those questions. There you go. How about that? Once again, thank you very much for coming along. Look, you are an opinionated and engaged lot, and I would actually like to spend the next couple of hours doing this, because clearly there's lots and lots of things that we want to talk about. But did you know that Thames Coromandel has one of the highest voter turnouts in local body elections, and there's a good reason for that. And I want to thank you again for coming along today and for engaging in this discussion and providing an opportunity to hear and understand some of the things that the candidates are standing for. The next session will kick off around 1 o'clock, where we'll be talking to, I'm getting all kinds of, we overruled that. Yeah, we did. We're not going to have time to be able to do that. Are we going to have time to be able to do that? All right, hands up for yes. All right, hands up for no. Excellent. The yes it is. All right, starting at Steve. Okay. Right.
You ready? Kia ora, thank you. I'm just going to cover a couple of subjects because we haven't got a lot of time. I'm part of the Waters Working Group, and we have worked very, very hard to try and get a solution which provides affordable water for our communities in the future. This has been a really hard process. I want to be clear and counter something that Patrick said. This process was not kneecapped by iwi. Let's be really clear about that. This was not kneecapped by iwi, so that is misinformation and needs to be stopped. I'm going to give you, thank you. I'll be very clear also, Māori wards, I have supported unequivocally the establishment of Māori ward and will maintain the Māori wards for as long as we can, and I'm very proud of Michael Barlow and the role that he'll be taking, and he'll get my full support all the way. Community operation of transfer stations. There's a policy that I will see happen. We want community and council operation.
That was it, Len. I'm sorry, that was 90 seconds. We're going to do it, we're going to do it. Thank you very much.
The final comments I want to make are about leadership. So leadership has been my job for decades. I understand the value that clear, fair and strong leadership makes. It is the key to having people working together collaboratively with respect and purpose. It's the key to delivering outcomes. Leadership's not about popularity. It's not about being liked. It's not about being a figurehead. It's not about being a bully. Leadership is about effectiveness, delivering outcomes. I'm unique amongst all these candidates here in that I have served 3 years on a community board. I have served 3 years as a councillor. I know and understand the way council works. I have built relationships with every councillor around the council table. I've built relationships with staff. I've built external relationships, and they are relationships characterised by trust, which is fundamental for getting stuff done. I will provide leadership that you can count on, and together with you and your support, I will lead this council to create a better future for our district. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Denise.
Kia ora, can you hear me? Okay. 90 seconds to sum up a whole lifetime of lived experience around leadership. As I understand leadership, and I do leadership, and one of the things I've learned about leadership really fast is it doesn't work if you don't have any followers. Obviously, microphones don't follow me around. So I'm a daughter of Manaia, and I know and have been taught how to bring two worlds together. Those two worlds are the iwi world and the Pākehā world, and I know what that looks like in terms of iwi governance, and I know what that looks like in terms of Pākehā government, and I know what that looks like in terms of leadership on the ground, in organisations and working with government. I will bring with me as the Mayor my connections to central government, the networks that I have across a range of government services and agencies to bring resources into this community, but into the whole of the Thames Coromandel District Council, so that we can thrive and be the best communities that we can be. Kia ora.
Hello? Yeah. My vision for the Coromandel is one of vibrancy and togetherness. I've lived in Whangamata for nearly 10 years and chair Enterprise Whangamata, our local business association. I know what needs to change. I'm a retired businessman, having owned and managed many successful businesses. Over the next 3 years, I'll focus council on 5 key areas. First, back to basics, a relentless focus on council's core business and spending. Second, fiscal responsibility. I'll cap rates at the lower of CPI or 3% per year. Third, community board empowerment. Community-led, cost-benefit-based services funded by local targeted rates. Fourth, real transparency. Fifth, economic development. A strong tourism focus. We have 50% of New Zealand's population within 2.5 hours of our doorstep. Let's use that advantage. I know finance. I can read a balance sheet. I can analyse a balance sheet. And I'm not tainted by sitting at the council table agreeing to an average of plus 36% rates increase over the last 3 years and skyrocketing debt. We cannot afford more of the same. It is not sustainable. Your choice, real change or more mediocrity.
Thanks, Patrick. Steve.
Testing. Well, the sound system's broken. And the entire system is broken. So we need to fix it. I'll just repeat that and repeat that and repeat it. The entire system is broken. We need to fix it. And the emphasis is on we. And as I said, as Mayor, I will instigate open public forums all around the district to invite your expertise, your skill sets, your knowledge to come together every Wednesday night all around the district to solve the problems. It's our problem. Not the Mayor's problem, not the Councillor's problem, not the CEO's problem, it's our problem. We need to come together and fix it. So there's two key issues. The communication all around the district is number one. The number two is rates. As I said, we need to get rid of the vultures that are milking the system. All the consultants, all the contractors, all the engineers and all the lawyers who are milking the system. If we get rid of them by lunchtime, we can bring the rates down, not just sit them floating there at a reduced rising level. We can actually bring the rates down. You know, I'm lucky being an ecology architect as a designer. I can design streets, boulevards. Imagine coming into Coromandel across from State Highway 2, entering onto Highway 25 and coming into right across the plains through a boulevard of trees, and carry that boulevard on all around the district.
Thank you, Steve.
Imagine it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Please have the candidates for their appearances, comments and participation today. Where's the other microphone? Participation today. Oh, look, that one does work. Right, thank you very much. We're all done for this session. seats. We're about to kick off the Thames Ward Councillor Forum. It'll be Steve Hart. He's coming back up, I think. He's open. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. How's that sound coming through? It's okay? Can we hear on this side? We can. Can we hear on this side? Wonderful. Thank you, tech team, who did some impressive stuff in the break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the forum for the Thames Ward Councillors. We have them seated in front of us today. What we'd like to be doing is giving each councillor candidate 2 minutes to share their vision for the district. And I think we're starting down at that end with Steve Baker. Steve, if you want to come up here, this microphone appears to be going okay, so if you can do it from here, that'll be great.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. From a personal perspective, my vision is quite simple: to protect, nurture, enhance and grow everything that makes our little corner of God's own such a wonderful place to work, live and play. Too often we just forget how lucky we are to live here. But in the context of this forum and the roles that we are contesting, it's important to acknowledge a simple truth. Not everything is within our control or our control of council. That said, over the past little while, I've been walking around the streets of Thames and I've been asking a simple question. So that's it. We're good. Over the past little while, I've been walking the streets of Thames asking a simple question: what really matters to you? And yes, there is a clear need to control our roads. But beyond that, I've heard some common themes. Older residents told me that they want safer, better maintained footpaths, because as a consequence of a fall, they can be life-changing. Others spoke about the need for a pool and upgrade sports facilities, refreshed Main Street, and chairs looking a little tired in places. Business owners and locals talked about safety at night, about protecting local enterprise. There were deep concerns, as we heard before, around the cost of living, rising crime, drug issues, and community intimidation. And more than a few people said to me, I get nothing from council but a bill. But not all of those issues fall within council control. But that disconnect might explain why so many people feel council isn't listening or performing. If we're serious about keeping rates affordable, we need to make some tough choices, just like every family does. And no, not everyone will agree with them. So my vision is simple: listen, to advocate, to help shape decisions that reflect what you collectively care about, to make the unpopular decision when someone else's need ranks higher than yours. Decisions that will ensure that this little part of God's own continues to be the great place to live, work and play. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve. Scott.
Good afternoon, my name's Scotty Bright and I live in Kopu with my wife Elaine. I'm standing as a candidate in the Thames Coromandel District Council for the Thames ward. You know, I believe the mark of a good council would surely have to be the measure of how happy the ratepayers are with the performance of the council. However, with regard to our council, many feel that they could do better. So it's no secret that we're in a cost of living crisis. And to levy ever-increasing rates on those already struggling is not on. I believe that we can do much to arrest the rates increases. You know, there's the old saying, it's easy to make money, but it's quite a skill to spend it. Now, the council needs to reform how it spends and they need to cut out the nice-to-haves, the wasteful spending, and focus on getting the very best value for money for each dollar spent. Council needs to live within its means, balance the books, stop borrowing, and stop kicking the debt can down the road, and start paying some of that debt back. Ease the pressure on the ratepayers and businesses, and get rid of unworkable, unnecessary regulations and bureaucracy. Do the basics well and assist people who want to make the place better. After nearly 45 years of owning businesses and operating them in agriculture, mechanical and construction, I would bring to the council those years of experience and knowledge with a keen eye for financial analysis and management. I would like to be a part of a council that put their people and their needs first. A council where the majority of ratepayers are happy with the performance of the council. If you would like that sort of council, then you need to vote for the people that will make it happen. Vote for Scotty Bright. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah. By the way, is this mic working? Yep. Great, thank you.
Kia ora, my name is Fiona Cameron and I'm excited to stand as a councillor for the Thames ward. I grew up here and this is the place where I live. I ran a business for 14 years and I'm raising my 2 children. It's a community I know well and I care about passionately. I have a vision for a
Try that again. Yep. Again.
Kia ora. Kia ora, my name's Fiona Cameron. I'm excited to stand as a councillor for the Thames ward, a place where I grew up. I ran a business for 14 years, raising my daughters, and a community I know well and care passionately about. I have a vision for a vibrant, community-focused future that empowers all of us to build a stronger, fairer, and more prosperous Thames. A place that embraces growth yet protects our community's unique lifestyles, environment, and values. Thames is a small town with a big heart and a lot more to offer. I'm currently Chair of Creative Coromandel He Mana Toi Moho Trust. I work closely with Council, a role in which I have made positive impact on economic and social wellbeing. I have strong relationships in all our wards around the peninsula and can bring this to my role as a councillor. I will work in partnership with iwi and also focus on strong local central government collaborations. With 30 years experience as a business owner, employer and leader in the arts sector, I bring business management qualifications,
Try this one.
community development skills and community development skills and governance expertise.
Third time lucky, yes? No? Not great. Bear with us.
That's good, Mike.
Is that one there working? Kind of. Speak up, even louder than that. This one does a little bit, and then, yeah, and then turn it off. That's the problem we've got. know in terms of attendance changes, right? Here we go. Is this one going at all? Great. Take 3.
Kia ora, sorry. What the main priorities see for Thames in our districts? Local water's done well, ensuring we manage this new legislation and make the right decisions for our future. Work together to find and fund and build a new community pool here in Thames. Support the need for housing development and affordable rentals to attract families and the workforce that we so need for our future growth. Support local businesses, tourism, activities and events that will make our ward vibrant, attractive and dynamic and a good place to do business. Smart financial management that delivers value to our ratepayers and seeks economic opportunities. Climate and foreshore protection and resilience planning. Connected communities enable better local representation, transparency communication between the council and our people, championing local initiatives and empowerment. I will work hard for you, lead with my values, listen to your voices, and ensure that people are at the heart of our decision making. Kia ora, thank you for listening to my korero.
Thank you, Fiona, for bearing with us on that. Let's see how you go, Greg.
How's that, everyone? Ooh, got to be pretty close. Okay. Kia ora, I'm Greg Hampton and I'm seeking your vote for Council in Thames. I came to Thames as a young man with a young family and I've built my life in and around this community. I love this place, the environment, the people, the culture. I feel privileged to be a part of this community and grateful for how Thames has shaped my life. I've served on many local governance boards, Thames South School, the Coromandel Heritage Trust, Thames Music Club, and I was a founding member of the Thames Business Association. Many of you will know me as the owner of Carson's Bookshop, but the bulk of my career was in local government and private sector management. At TCDC, I was the Parks Manager and later the Service Delivery Operations Manager, where I was responsible for managing the Three Waters contract, Solid Waste contract and Parks and Recreation contracts. From 2013 to 2017, I was the Thames Area Manager and the Coromandel Area Manager. I was advisor to both of those community boards. I led the delivery of key local projects, including the Jack McLean Recreation Centre, Thames Skate Park, the relocation of the Thames Information Centre to these premises. I delivered an urban development strategy and a visitor strategy, all within a 4-year period, whilst also carrying out a role on the senior leadership team of council. I have decades of institutional knowledge and experience that would be of high value to any council that you choose to elect. I know how the system works, how to navigate it, and how to get things done. My pitch to you is that I am the only candidate here that offers that depth of local government knowledge and experience relevant to our community. Vote for me to put the experience at the table that will result in better dialogue, more informed dialogue at the council table, and better decision making. For more info, grab one of my pamphlets, follow me on Facebook, and visit my website. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Steve.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Greg. Yeah, we'd make a good team. To be a mayor is very different from being a councillor. Councillor of the Thames ward is a focus on Thames, although at the same time having recognition of all the other wards and working together with them. Thames is the gateway to Coromandel and it's a shambles. You come off the bridge and you hit the roundabout, it's overgrown. Nobody's mowing that roundabout for months. It's not a very good front door, is it? As an urban design planner, architect, landscape architect, I've worked for 7 different councils, so I know the system inside out and back to front. I know how to design streets. I know how to design parks. As I say, Greg and I work well together. Thames needs a total urban design overhaul. We need to beautify it. We need to be proud of the fact that Thames is the gateway to the Coromandel. It doesn't look very flash at the moment. It certainly needs a coat of paint at least, besides a new sound system. And as I said earlier, one of the major keys is communication. How can we get involved in the community? How can we invite the community to be involved? That is the #1 key element in my entire campaign. How can we work together?
Thank you, Steve. Cole.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Cole McDowell. So I was born and raised in Thames, local boy all my life, parents, grandparents, all from Thames. I now have 2 kids of my own, and my vision is keeping a safe and reliable type town that my kids can grow up in and call home as well. So I currently work as an electrician, so I'm forever out in the community, visiting people, in people's homes, gathering good, I suppose we'll call it intel, on people's thoughts and feelings towards the council, etc. And some of those things that we've picked up are rates, obviously being one of them. Everyone's going to talk about rates, but I'm not your typical, we're going to cap rates, we're going to do this, do that. One thing I'd like to do is go through where all our rates is actually going and make sure there's not any wasteful spending throughout where our rates are going. Another one being sports and recreation facilities. The swimming pool is a big passion of mine, alongside, you know, rugby and netball and soccer and cricket and all the other sports that our kids are out there doing, and I want my kids to be able to do as well. So yeah, assessing if those sorts of things are feasible to invest money into for future generations. The third sort of thing is around water. Obviously there's everything going on at the moment about fresh water and drinking water. But not only that, stormwater and sea level rise and all those other corresponding sort of things to do with all types of water that we experience here in town. Yeah, so I don't have a lot to say, if I'm honest. This is me, this is who I am. Put a name to the face, and thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Kisha.
Kia ora everyone, I'm Kishan Rakwa, and I'm proud to call Thames my home for over 16 years. I'm standing for Thames Ward Councillor in the upcoming TCDC election. For past 3 years, I've been served on the community board, working alongside our amazing residents, businesses and community groups. My heart is in this town, and I want to keep pushing for projects that truly reflect our community needs. My journey started as a 13-year-old kitchen hand, working my way up to restaurant owner right here in Thames. That taught me resilience, dedication, and importance of understanding every step of the process, quality of bringing into community leadership. As councillor, I will focus on 4 key priorities. First, supporting local businesses and events to boost jobs and our economy. Second, upgrading infrastructure, safer road, reliable water, and smart long-term planning. Third, advocating for housing development like Totra Valley, long overdue for Thames. Fourth, investing in community well-being. our sports fields, pool, and local service that bring people together. I believe in open and accountable leadership, ensuring that every ratepayer dollar is spent wisely. My promise is simple. I will listen, take action, and represent you with honesty and dedication. Together, we can build a stronger, more vibrant and resilient Thames. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishan. Martin.
I was going to start off with a battery joke, but I was worried that it might go a bit flat. Kia ora, I'm Martin Rodley. I'm standing for re-election as a Thames Ward District Councillor. I've had the privilege of serving as your District Councillor since 2019. Over the past 6 years, I've worked hard to represent Thames with steady leadership and practical results. Experience matters, especially when decisions affect our whole community. For me, being a councillor means showing up. You'll see me at AGMs, concerts, fundraisers, community events. I support groups right across our community: Men's Shed, Grey Power, Business Association, Citizens Advice, CAPS Hierarchy, as well as TRAP and other youth initiatives. I believe every generation deserves a voice, from our youngest people through to our seniors. I'm also passionate about the things that make Thames vibrant and proud. As President of Thames Music and Drama, and through my involvement with the Thames Museum, Treasury, the Heritage Network, numerous steampunk festivals, and a trustee on both Creative Coromandel and the Hauraki Rail Trail, I've worked to strengthen both our community identity and our local economy. Arts and heritage are part of who we are in Thames, and I'll continue to back them. Alongside culture and community, I bring a strong focus on practical outcomes. I sat on the Council Shoreline Management Project, as well as the Thames Flood Protection Group, to help keep our homes and businesses safe. I've pushed for housing solutions through our Thames Spatial Planning, committed to climate action, sustainability and resilience. I work alongside you. I listen, I engage, and I follow through. My role is to represent the whole community: youth, families, businesses and seniors alike. This election, you'll hear many ideas. I offer something different: proven experience, broad service and practical action that unites rather than divides. Vote Martin Rodley for Thames Ward Councillor. Thank you for being here and for giving a damn. Ngā mihi.
Thanks, Martin. And Robin.
I'm asking for you to re-elect me as your Thames Ward Councillor. I bring experience to the role, I bring district-wide thinking to the role, I bring critical thinking to the role, to ask the right questions, to be able to handle robust and informed debates and to make good decisions on your behalf. So what have we done as a council this last triennium for you? Well, you spoke in this forum and the forum in 2019 about a need for housing in Thames, and we listened. I have diligently progressed funding investigations for the Totara Valley Road development and have helped secure funding in the long-term plan for that. Housing is a complex and expensive issue, and it's a big problem to fix. So we pulled the other lever that we had, which was to provide a rates remission for small granny flats. So if you have a secondary dwelling, you can now get a rates remission on that, and we know that that will increase accommodation. We worked tirelessly in a rapidly changing environment to deliver a viable and affordable Three Waters delivery plan. At a community board level here in Thames, we listened to the discontent about not having a manned visitor information centre, and we invested in the capital infrastructure that got a manned centre up and running. We funded new signage, we gained external funding to support visitor branding, visitor maps, wayfinding signs, and we activated the Copa Marine Precinct so that we could realise the jobs that the business case had promised. I'm saying we here because council is a team and you cannot achieve anything alone. You need to be represented by someone who has connections and can work with anyone, and you can look no further than me. But on a more personal note, I chaired the committee that brought you the Sustainability Climate Change Action Plan and Emissions Reduction Plan. I'm also the reason that the Thames Community Board has a stall at the market on a Saturday, which is an invaluable experience. The future council of the 2025 triennium still faces a lot of uncertainty in Three Waters and resource management and whatever else government throws our way. They will have to continue big projects like the Shoreline Management Plan and a new Thames pool. And having a councillor who can start on the 12th of October, inducted and with a wealth of institutional knowledge, governance knowledge and deep roots in this community is going to stand Thames well. I said I'll work with you, I said I'll work for you, and I mean it, and I'll be there with you for you to hold me accountable for that. Please re-elect me, Robin Sinclair.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you all candidates. So now we have a whole series of questions that have been submitted that we get to put to the candidates, and I'll invite Annabelle to come back up on stage as well. She's hiding off to the side. She's going to give me a hand to read some of these questions out. So I'll start with the first one, and we'll go from there. This is for Fiona. So yeah, I'll bring the mic over, Fiona, I think, or you can come up if you want. Fiona, coming from your arts and business background, how do you see this as beneficial around the council table?
Kia ora, that's the perfect question for me. So I have 30 years business experience in the arts. The Coromandel's known for our arts. This is who we are. They're a major part in our creative industries. This year we're just about to launch our third Artbeat Festival. I'm project manager for that. That is looking at our communities that we have here, bringing people in from our 3 major cities and making sure that our economies are thriving. I'm really proud of the work I've done in my life. I'm proud of what I can take to the council. If I'm on that council table, I will bring my business experience, I'll bring my connections and those creative industries with me, which is a huge part of who we are here in Hauraki Coromandel. Kia ora.
Thanks, Fiona. Is this microphone still working? Yep. It is. Great news.
This one is for Greg. The Pollen Street upgrades have been postponed for some years. What would you do to progress them and also to mitigate the disruption to businesses on the street?
Great question. Hello? I might stand up. Okay, thank you for that question. It's pretty appropriate to me as I do own a business in the main street. The reason for, so the big thing is that the water mains down Pollen Street are overdue for renewals, so it needs to be done. It was put off a couple of years ago because of COVID. That I don't have a problem with that. Business was very difficult through the COVID period, and so putting that out meant the less disruption to the main street retailers as possible. The way to progress it, we do need to get it done. We must protect our essential services. We must upgrade and carry out our renewals programs. The key to actually doing it with the least disruption to business will be staging it. It should be done in the off-season. It's quiet in the off-season anyway. So between April and probably August would be the best time to do it and stage it block by block to minimise disruption to businesses. If you walk down the Pollen Street, just an important point, and it's a really, our community is on a knife edge economically. You walk down the main street now and we've got a dozen or more empty shops, and a lot of businesses are walking a very tight line. We need to support local businesses, we need to buy local, we need to circulate our money within the district. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you for that response. I was remiss to mention that we need to keep to 1 minute for the responses, but I appreciate the further clarification on that one. The next question is for Kishan. How and what did you contribute to the Thames Community Board over the last 3 years, And what community initiatives or projects were you directly involved in, and what did you do?
Thank you. It's an interesting question. I did lots of stuff, but I'd like to mention one key point is I will go back in my life first. I came here around 25 years ago I had only baggage, $200 and my $200 has been grown up. My kids doing pretty good. My son is a doctor. My daughter's, she's working in the Sydney hospitality and acting line, and I'm pretty proud. So basically, part of that, when we sit in the council table, we have some funding available. So I strongly recommend some of the funding will go for the youth, not just for serving lunch or dinner, something they can use for whole in their life, like driving license, a first aid course, or maybe a career expo, where they can learn a skill and they will be with them for the whole their life. I think that's the main one I'm going to mention, but there's lots of things I do for community, as you know. Thank you.
Thanks, Kishan.
This question is for Scott. What improvements to the natural environment would you support council to do?
The supports to the natural environment, I think everybody's got a responsibility of that, and keeping it clean and tidy, being environmentally friendly, looking after your environment and valuing it. And I would support, and I'd expect the council to do everything that's necessary to look after our environment. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Martin, this one's for you. Coromandel locals and their families suffer from expensive resource consents and restrictive policies. I'm glad I didn't ask Steve this one. How will you improve this for local families? Just reading it as I saw it.
May I have a... Expensive resource consents and restrictive policies. How will you improve this for local families? This is a very difficult question to answer without knowing what particular problems that people might have had with their expensive resource consents and restrictive policies. But the coalition government is looking to take a lot of the final responsibility off councils. They've been saying recently about them being able to have different levels of insurance so that council isn't the last person standing, and they are promising that actually their resource management reform will address lots of these issues. So if the government is looking at changing the Resource Management Act, then we will just, as councillors, we then get to instigate and push that process through. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what central government is able to do to improve things for local families.
Well done, thank you for that.
For Cole, do you believe Thames needs to be the strong economic hub of the Coromandel? If so, what strategies would you pursue to make it successful, offer opportunities, and support the region?
Yeah, so what I took from that long-winded question was about making Thames a strong economic hub, am I correct?
Yes, strong economic hub. If so, what strategies would you pursue to make it successful? and what opportunities would you offer to support the region?
Okay, I see, thank you. So my personal opinion of Thames is we are the gateway to the Coromandel. So yes, I understand there's the destination Thames and we do have things here, but at the end of the day, Thames isn't the biggest holiday destination. People come here to visit family members and go to the shops and those types of things. So the way we could potentially grow economic growth for Thames as a region is focusing more on being the gateway for the Coromandel, and thus would then help the rest of the Coromandel Peninsula as well. So doing simple things like making it super easy to get off the main road, get fuel, get groceries, get all your bits and bobs while you're on your way to your holiday destination, or like we're already very well set up, in my opinion, here for when you come to visit your parents and visit family members. There's plenty of good restaurants and cafes and whatnot for going out for breakfasts, lunches, dinners, those types of things. I hope that somewhat answered that question. Thank you.
Thanks, Cole. Question for Robin. Having seen your verbal attack on the Mayor at the 5th of August council meeting and prior to this, how will you, in the best interests of the community, support the elected leader if they are not the leader of your choice?
5th of August. I believe that at that meeting I did challenge the accuracy of a report that came to council where the mayor's activities were listed, and so I didn't consider it a attack. Len and I have spoken about it afterwards. I am very happy to work with a wide range of different elected members. You can look at the two councils that I've worked quite successfully on for the last 2 terms and seen a wide range of political and personal views. I am very happy to ring other councils. I think I have a very good relationship with almost everybody on council at the moment, and extremely good relationships within community board, not only my own community board, but I have touch points in all of the community boards and across the entire country. I've been lucky enough to represent council at LGNZ events and consider that I have a wide network of elected members from other councils, regional councils, district councils, city councils, to call on. So I would consider my networks to be quite broad, and I can work with anyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Robin.
For Steve, it appears that until recently you were the... Oh, sorry. For Steve Baker, it appears that until recently you were the Chief Financial Officer for HGC and noted previous employment with TCDC. What is your focus for sporting facilities for the Thames area?
So yes, this is one of the hard questions that we're going to have to face. Yes, we could build a pool. I've heard 40 million plus bandied around. I don't know how many people could pay the bill if we actually put a $40 million pool in. I've heard it then cost $1 million a year to run. So can you afford as a community to pay that bill? So some say yes, some say no. This is going to be one of those ones that we're going to have to challenge and walk through together. There are other options, I believe, on the table. There has been a lot of work done on this. I don't know whether it's all been efficiently done. I think we've spent an enormous amount of money researching this through consultants, and I know how some people feel about them. But we're going to have to pick something that suits Thames, because we've already had a precedent when Whitianga built a sports ground and Whitianga asked us to help pay. And we put a very firm message back to Whitianga: it is your sports stadium, you will pay for it. I'm pretty sure Whitianga remember that conversation, so our pool will be our cost. We just need to pick one we can afford. Thanks.
Thanks, Steve. I haven't got a specific question for Steve Hart, so do you want to address the pool one yourself?
I'll just create one.
Do you want me to create one?
What have I not talked about? Just summing up all of those questions. Obviously, what is it that we want for Thames? The gateway's been talked about, business has been talked about. You know, the arts community, Coromandel is recognised right across New Zealand as one of the strongest arts communities nationally. It's brilliant. But, you know, I come back to how do we generate business? I think Greg mentioned, you know, we've got 12 empty shops in Thames, and it's getting worse. Have a look in Mayoral, even worse. And it's happening all around the country. How can we stay alive? Cole talked about a little bit about developing business, and it's really easy. Let's create an innovative business hub. Look at the business hub they did at over in Hamilton. Brilliant success. Now, we don't need to redesign the wheel. All the templates are out there. Let's work on it. Bring people in from the outside to how can we generate business, create a business hub, be very innovative. Quite innovative. Let what business can survive here, how can we support it and keep it going? How do we maintain it? You know, we've built a wharf at Kopu.
Hey Steve.
It's a white elephant.
We'll do the 90-second thing as well. So
90 seconds. Oh, that was only one question. You've got about a dozen questions.
We're going to do the 90-second thing. So you'll get another 90 seconds at the end to keep going. We're outside of the.
But quite easily, an innovative business hub.
Thanks for that. Thank you. Give them a round of applause for that, because some of those questions are not easy to answer. Right. This one is going, isn't it? Yeah, thanks for that, Martin, too. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll run in reverse order, giving each of the candidates 90 seconds just to sum up their main points that they would want you to understand. So we'll start with Robin at reverse order. Yeah. Thanks, Robin.
I grew up in Wellington, love visiting, but my mother long ago stopped asking when I'm moving back to Wellington. She recognises that this is where I am, this is my home, and says that she's never seen me thrive the way I have here, anywhere else, so where we've lived. So I wanted to thank you as a community for supporting me in that. I also just wanted to address some of the other questions that were asked. For example, Greg, I love your answer about staging of Pollen Street, agree 100%. With the other thing that comes up again and again and has come up for as long as I've lived here, Thames is not a gateway. We're not somewhere that you transit through on the way to somewhere else. That's not what we should be aspiring to. We have thriving businesses. We have lots of things to do on the weekends. We have lots of children coming here to stay with grandparents during the holidays, the school holidays. So we really need to embrace that we are a place that people want to come. That's the work that we did with the Explore Thames. That's the work that we need to continue with, and that is how we are going to be on the map and remembered. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Martin, already on his feet, eager to reach the podium. Eager.
So I thought I'd just use this 90 seconds just to very quickly raise the issue of the Local Government Systems Improvements Amendment Bill 2025. So this is a piece of legislation that the government is deciding that we need to focus on our core infrastructure, and they're also promising to introduce rates cap and control what we do. But we know about the issues and the challenges in our community, not a politician in Wellington. We must retain the ability to be able to influence events in our district and be able to reflect what our residents want for their place. I will also just touch on the gateway. I have heard it said 5 times. I thought we had put the whole Thames being the gateway thing to bed, but it does keep getting raised. We did a lot of work with Explore Thames with some recovery money from central government, and I feel that we've really boosted the offering and the awareness of Thames actually being a destination, not a gateway. Please stop calling it a gateway. And just one very last point, one of the votes you'll get to have this year is whether to keep Maori wards. I was proud to vote twice to have a Maori ward councillor, and I would please consider you voting to keep it. I strongly believe that a Maori ward councillor enhances local democracy. I don't see it taking away in any fashion. So please tick yes to keep our Maori ward.
Thanks, Martin. Kishan knows he's next.
Thank you. I'll keep it simple. I'm just a normal person with common sense. I'm not a rocket scientist, but if you deal with the council, you know what I mean, rocket scientist. How difficult is time to time? They need to be more friendly. And the bottom line, when you earn $1, you can't afford to spend $2. That is just bad. It's not a good business practice at all. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Kishan. Oh.
So I feel I struck a nerve on the gateway thing. No, you're fine. I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm Cole McDowell. In the next couple of weeks, I'll have pamphlets going out. I'll have my face and a couple of details on them and contact details. So if you've got any questions or anything like that, feel free to sling them my way. I'm happy to come around and talk to anyone at any stage. Yeah, thank you. I'm Cole McDowell.
Thanks, Cole. Yeah, like you, let's change the narrative. If it's not the gateway, it's the front door. And it is the front door to Coromandel. So let's tidy it up. I'm sure, make it a destination. It is our business and industrial hub. Let's develop that. No reason why not. Now, to be a councillor, one has to have informed decision. One has to have capability of understanding the issues that are put in front of you. Understanding all the hidden agendas that exist. Why is it that we've become slaves to the corporate world? Who understands that? Who understands that we've been milked by the consultants, the contractors, the engineers and lawyers? Who understands that? I certainly do. I've been involved in it all my life, at a lot of different levels. So one needs to be smart to be a councillor and understand what's going on before the wool's pulled over your eyes.
Thanks, Steve. Greg. That's 10 seconds. Just joking.
I'm standing for council because I want to use my skills, knowledge and experience to deliver positive, practical outcomes and ensure the decisions we make truly reflect the needs and values of our community. A vote for me will mean 1. Community-focused leadership. Council must act with a clear mandate from community, keeping residents informed and involved throughout the decision-making process. Your voice matters. 2. Rates affordability. I support a no-frills, fit-for-purpose council that delivers essential services efficiently while keeping rates increases to a minimum. We face real financial pressures and environmental challenges. We must live within our means and plan wisely. 3. Local economic development. We need a business-friendly council focused on accelerating housing development and environmentally sustainable growth that delivers opportunity that benefits all of the community. 4. Strategic partnerships. We can't afford to go it alone. We will never achieve our vision without working together. Partnerships with iwi, government and others is key. 5. Climate change and emergency preparedness. Investing in infrastructure that can withstand future environmental challenges is vital. And most of all, I commit to being your voice at council and a strong advocate for Thames at the council table. Find out more detail from my pamphlets and my website. Follow me on Facebook. Thank you for coming today. It shows that you care.
Excellent, thank you, Greg.
Kia ora, this is my home. I grew up here. I was born in Coromandel and I came to Thames as a student for high school. I have 2 daughters. I had a business here for 14 years. I've been a businesswoman for 30 years. I've been in positions of leadership and community governance for a long time. I have a vision for Thames that's dynamic, that's progressive, that's going to bring people into our community, that's going to grow it for everybody, not just for youth, for new families. I believe that we need to be strong in our leadership. I'm really looking forward to working with Michael if I get on council and being one of the first people who's going to be in our Māori ward. I'm wanting to be dynamic and fresh. If you want somebody on council who's going to really care about community, listen to your voice and really make an impact, vote for me. I'll be fresh, dynamic, and I'll be energised and I'll work really hard. Kia ora.
Thank you, Fiona. Scotty.
Yeah, many people think TCDC is, just a business unit out there, and it's the office that sort of lords it over us. But really, people have got to take ownership of it. It's our council. We should all own it. And being a council, it needs to run efficiently and effectively. But also, I believe that it should run a little bit like your house, and not be so hard and fast on a lot of things. And it really needs to do things like, have binding referendums on big issues. Put people first and their needs first. I think that's what a council really needs to do as well as work efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott and Steve.
Thanks. I wasn't really too sure what I was going to say on this part.
Maybe just go a bit closer to that. Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, I wasn't too sure what I was going to say on this part, other to say we came here about 18 years ago. We haven't seen a reason to leave yet. This is truly God's own within God's own, and you've got to go to other parts of the country to appreciate that. It was brought up. I worked for TCDC for 10 years. I was CFO there. Worked at Hauraki. I left Hauraki, went down. I did a lot of work in the recovery on the East Coast, running a lot of programs down there. I've got vast experience in strategic planning, risk modelling, risk mitigation, procurement, program and project management. So I bring a lot of skill sets to this job. One of the key things that the East Coast showed me was empathy. And we need to do that in this role as well. So thanks for considering me. Many thanks.
Thank you, Steve, and thanks for all the candidates for coming along today and giving of their time to present to themselves. Just hold on for a second. I think Mike's got a couple of things he wants to say. That one's going.
Kia ora whanau. So just a couple of things. I think we've got one apology from Rob Johnson. He does have a video that I believe we were going to share. Was that right? Yep. So, but we've also had a discussion with regards to our mayoral debate earlier today. So what we've decided to do is hold another mayoral debate on the 20th of September. We will send out some details. It'll more than likely be here. We've asked CFM if they could supply their microphones and their... So we would hold it today, but some of the candidates' supporters have also left as well. So it'll be unfair for them for us to hold another one today. So we are looking at the 20th of September. Also in Thames on the 14th of September, we do have another Meet the Candidates session, and that'll be at the Thames High School. So just keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes peeled and listen out for when those are going to happen. Okay, so kia ora, 20th September is when we'll have our next mayoral debate. But if we can play Rob Johnson's 90-second closing statement. Sorry, my bad. It's community board. So yeah, so we'll see you on the 20th of September for the mayoral debate. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. How about a bit of a round of applause for the candidates as they leave the stage. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to you people again for your participation and involvement in the discussion. Okay, community board candidates, please come and grab your seats up on the stage. Okay. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please grab your seats, and we'll keep moving. By now, I imagine you know the drill. So these are the candidates for the Thames Community Board. What we will ask of each candidate again is for 2 minutes, please, to share their vision for the district. You'll get a 90-second bell and then one at the end of 2 minutes. So in keeping with how we started, we'll start in alphabetical order, and we'll ask Adrian, please, to come forward.
I just looked at the shrinking numbers in the room. I just thought, oh, I might wait just to see if any more voters are going to come in. That was all. Thank you for staying here and being with us. And thank you to the organisers to get the thing sorted out. So at least the community board people have got good microphones. So my name is Adrian Catron. My family came here in 1868, so we're well ensconced in Thames. We've been part of this community now for that period of time. And I am the current community board chair. So for me, I'm seeking your support to be re-elected again for another triennium. Why? Because our board came together in 2022 with 3 people sitting around the board table having no experience at all in local government. We managed to round our team up, develop a board that my understanding, and from comments that have been made to me, was the best board in the Thames Coromandel District Council out of 5. And we did that through hard work. We did some serious, heavy lifting over the past triennium. And we managed to bring forward those other 3 players and myself to form a cohesive team, along with the 3 district councillors who were appointed to the community board. I'm very, very proud of what the board did over the last 3 years. It's been an amazing journey, a particularly difficult journey at times, and I was very lucky to have a wonderful deputy chair to help me along, but the board members, we worked as a team. We got involved with, when 25A closed, it was the Thames board that went to the TBA, Thames Business Association, and asked that a public meeting be called. We didn't want to seem to be arguing with our parent body, which is the Thames Coromandel District Council, so we got the TBA to set the meeting up. From that meeting, and that's the very first meeting, and the day after 25A was closed and somebody turned the lights out in Thames, from that we came up with the Brand Matters came up with all the little things you see now.
Adrian, that's the time, mate. So we'll get you to wrap that up.
Oh, I was just getting warmed up.
I know, that's why I kind of felt like I needed to jump in. So a couple of minutes to share the vision. I tell you what though, we will come back to you because there'll be some questions and you'll get a chance to sum up as well. So
love you all.
How about that? Thank you, Adrian. That was Stuart.
Kia ora. Interesting alphabetical order, but oh well. My name's Stu. I've been back here in Thames for the last 5 years. I've had a wide and varied work history. A bit cliche, but a jack of all trades is quite often better than a master of one. I've worked in health and safety positions. I've been executives on a number of different campaigns. I'm a Freemason, which is a benevolent society. I believe the community board is a conduit between council and the community, and I've spent the last 5 years building up quite a network of people that I know. I've served a lot of you as customers. I've worked in sales, I've worked in engineering. It's a long and varied history. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. Yes, I believe community board is, like I say, a conduit. I'm here to represent you, and I'm here to serve. Thanks.
Thank you, Stu. Steve.
Thanks, Michael. Again, a three-peat. The community board is obviously the focus for its specific community, different from mayor, different from council, and it's about focusing on its community. Thames. As an urban designer, an architect, landscape architect, fusing those disciplines together, I'd love to help Adrian and Rob Johnson and Greg to redesign Thames. It's desperately in need of a major urban design retrofit. I'm sure the 3 or 4 of us can get together around the table and thrash out, we each have 6B pencils and big sheets of paper and come up with lots of great, brilliant ideas, especially with your skill set, Greg, and your undertaking, Adrian, excuse the pun. But it certainly needs renaissance, reincarnating, again, Adrian. It is the gateway to Coromandel. It's the front door. It's not the back door, it's the front door. Let's create the front door for Coromandel.
Thanks, Steve. Glenn, vision for Thames.
Yeah, good afternoon. Admire your patience, all standing there waiting to listen to our lot go through. So I'm Glenn Leach. I'm not going to go on too much. I've been your mayor for quite some time. I did 12 years on council through the 90s and through the mayoralty. I love the place. You know, I was born here. I didn't love playing rugby here, coming up from Pyro and getting the Thames boys giving us a hiding every now and again. But other than that, that was just a fact of life. The family's been involved in this area since the 50s and very proud to be and feel very much part of the Coromandel. I've been away from the family business for quite some time, being the youngest and wanted to always do my own thing. And when you've got 3 big brothers and 4 sisters, all older than you find that getting away from them for a while is not a bad idea. But lived on the Coromandel, loved the place, and I think you've got a beautiful situation here. From my point of view, that Thames, everyone seems to forget, you know, and I'm not being rude, I get sick of hearing about it being the gateway to the Coromandel. It's a destination on its own. You get up the Cowronga and have a look what's up there and into the pinnacles. I know it's a little bit different, but you have a look at the coast. That coast, as a kid, I hated it. When we had the batch at Oamaru Bay, metal road from Tapu. Now, when I was driving down as mayor from Matarangi, I loved it. It was soothing. I'd leave some meetings needing soothing, and I'd drive the Thames coast, and it was just stunningly beautiful. So we have an area here on our own at Thames, which is advantageous to everyone to look at it in a different spotlight than being just the gate of the Coromandel. It has the ability to stand on its own and enough things around it to substantiate that. You've only got to have visitors stay one more night in Thames and you double the visitor industry in the true sense. It's not hard to do. Okay, I think that dock could do a hell of a lot more for us here in Thames in relationship to the dock park. And I mean that in the sense of decent walkways, not just tracks, but decent walkways, 2 and 3 metres wide,
where you can actually get up there and enjoy the walk, where you're not spraining your ankles, where you're not getting into situations that people my age and can actually do it and enjoy it. And that's where the key is here. I look at Thames and say the Karonga, the coast, that wharf area. You imagine if we had a piled wharf that went out another 30 metres to the Firth, purely for sort of restaurant-y, tourism-y sort of things. Sitting there of an evening in a moonlit night, starting to get romantic now. But
yeah, I might have to stop you there too, because
I can think of no other places to be. So look, I've got the time now. I'm living in Thames. We've done the old salutation up, which annoyed a few of you older boys. They come and told me I'd ruined their drinking spot.
Come on, Green, grab a chair.
But thank you very much, and I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you. Cole.
Right, my name's still Cole McDowell, hasn't changed since 10 minutes ago. Also standing for Community Board, as you can see. My vision for Community Board is to really get that community feel going throughout the community. And I'd love to work with some of these more experienced guys throughout council to bring a fresh perspective and ideas to the way they do things where possible, and work with them to really bring the community feel back to Thames. Cheers.
Thanks, Cole. Holly.
Thought I was tall enough, but not yet. Afternoon. I am standing for re-election of the Community Board. For the past 3 years, I've had the privilege of serving the community, and I am proud to be seeking a second term. From the start, my focus has been representing the younger generation. The future leaders of Thames, I believe our young people deserve a community that is full of opportunities in jobs, housing, education and in sport. That's why my work on the board has always been driven by growth, development and empowerment. Over the last 3 years, I've been actively involved in a wide range of initiatives. I was part of the steering group for the new swimming pool, ensuring families will have a modern facility to enjoy. I've been involved in launching the social media campaign to promote Thames, giving our town stronger presence and a profile. I've been a proud part of the advanced learners groups, where we've had primary school and high school students come into council chambers to share their ideas and learn how local government works. The initiative is all about empowering our young people early and giving them both a voice and a platform. One of the projects I'm especially proud of is being a part of the group that brought the basketball court to the Pirate Park, a facility that has become incredibly popular with our young people and families. I've also been the driving force in ensuring council recognises the importance of Rhodes Park, our main sports ground, and the role it plays in the life of this community. Sports is my passion, and if you're ever looking for me, chances are I'll be down at Rhodes Park, which really becomes my second home throughout the summer and the winter months. But I don't just bring passion for sport, I also bring diversity and real life experience to the table. Firstly, I am the only woman standing for Community Board that brings a different perspective to the discussion and decisions. Secondly, I come from a different era, so I see things through a different lens, and I'm not afraid to say things a little bit differently. And third, I also bring experience. With one term already completed, I now understand how the system works and can carry forward my knowledge that I've gained over the past 3 years. Alongside my community work, I'm also a mum of 3. And together with my husband, we have owned and run our own local building company for the past 11 years. That keeps me grounded day to day with the realities of life, small business and community works. So I'm looking forward, my vision is to keep building Thames that our young people want to stay and lead. A town with opportunities, strong facilities, a sense of pride, growth, development and empowerment remain at the heart of everything I'm standing for.
Thank you. Okay. Warren, please.
My wife, my anchor, and I have loved living in Thames the last 9 years. We have established the Waitahi Valley Lodge B&B, My history is I'm an IT consultant and design engineer, having worked my businesses in New Zealand and overseas. I have gratefully served on and chaired several local organisations. That includes Thames Rotary, where I designed and built the 16 rail trail shelters that you see on the network. Thames Community Men's Shed. I was the foundation chair for 4 years in establishing that. Can Do Thames, where we ran the business and employment expos. The Thames Business Association, and I'm the current president of the RSA. I'm asking for your support to serve as your representative. I'm practical, with a proven leadership and commitment to community service. I'm accessible and committed to working hard on your behalf to get things done. Yes, to get things done. I won't promise rainbows, but I will promise to show up and ask the right questions and fight for a fair outcome for all of us. I want a safe and thriving community where we can grow with good local services, our seniors cared for, and our natural environment protected for our future generations. Businesses, volunteer organisations, and our young people are certainly the backbone of our communities. As your community board representative, I'll work hard to support local enterprise, initiatives for young people, for training and opportunities, and to strive to ensure community organisations have the backing they need. Thank you.
I'll just stay there, Warren, for a second, because that was great, because it was just about to lead into questions, and this was a question for Warren. And he just gave 2 of the answers to that question. Peter Revel is waving his hands. Oh, we're going to hear, sorry, we are going to hear, yes, we are going to hear from Rob Johnson. We'll do that first, but yeah, we'll come back to that one. Sorry, Rob's got a video for us, hasn't he?
Firstly, my apologies for not being able to be there at this candidate meeting. The MC, Mike, I hope, has explained the issue that I've become stuck overseas at Heathrow waiting for a rescheduled flight. But I thank them very much for the opportunity to at least talk to you via video. My name is Rob Johnston. I've been on the community board for the last 3 years as deputy chair, a role that I've greatly enjoyed, and it's given me a good insight into local body governance and how council works, and I would like to stand again for re-election for the community board. I think the community board fits me a little better at this stage than councillor would. We do sit around the table and make governance decisions, but we also have the opportunity to be a little bit more hands-on, and that's the sort of thing at this stage that I'm particularly keen on. I enjoy driving community action and getting actions out of the decisions that are made, and the community board level allows me to get my hand in with that. For example, we, as a board, reinstated the sort of flags along the main street, 5 or 6 different types now that we put up around Anzac and Matariki, advertising for Thames along with the brand matter branding, the visitor promotion flags, the coat of arms for Thames Township itself, and I think it brings liveliness and colour into the main street. It's a hands-on action, and that's not something that council staff do, that's something that the community board has taken on and done. Other projects such as the visitor promotion signs, the recent ones that have gone up in Porritt Park, for example, the Pinnacle sign, part of providing maps on signs for visitor location or wayfinding, the Carry Dam sign that's recently gone up in the Civic Square, the Poppet Head sign that's about to go up in Grahamstown. These are all hands-on projects that I've been involved in with various people, community people, or in fact the chair as well has helped out. So it allows me to actually still be involved at that sort of functional, hands-on level. Also, walking tracks. The Māori Lookout Track was a project that I was very pleased with. A resident came to me with the idea, or came to the board with the idea, and I took that on and did the negotiations and advocacy and over a long period of time, we got a DOC agreement to do that, and now that track's been put in. And just working with other groups around town. So, in summary, I think if you are interested in somebody who has good governance ability around the table, but also is interested in hands-on and driving community action, then I'd be very, very happy to receive your vote. And I look forward to seeing what happens in October. Cheers.
Well, we thank Rob in his absence. As he said there, he's actually stuck en route from Heathrow with a delayed flight. So originally going to make the meeting, but a delay has meant that he is probably somewhere in the air at the moment. So it's unfortunate that he's not here. So I'll invite back Annabelle onto the stage, and we'll get on with asking some questions of our candidates. Who are we going to start with, do you think?
This is a question for Adrian. Would you support opting for a lesser option for the new swimming pool, given our already stretched budget?
Who wrote this?
You've got a minute there, Adrian. Can you read that? You are? Would you support opting for a lesser option for the given the stretched budget?
Okay, this is about Thames swimming pool. This has been an issue that's gone right through our community board for the last 3 years, and it's been ongoing for the last 24 years. We have spent $247,000 in trying to create a situation where we've got a wonderful report of 268 pages. If anybody wants to read it, it's on the council thing. We looked at options from one end of the town right out to Kopu, and we looked at options as a sports field combined with the outside council. We settled on a $26.2 million pool to be built at the Thames, Thames High School. The reason why we settled on that, because it's a covered pool, it provides all the things that everybody needs. To go for a lesser option, I think would be belittling the people of Thames by not giving them a pool that they deserve. We have now passed that on to the Thames Coromandel District Council and asking them to research how we can afford the affordability of that pool, and will they come on board with us and help us develop that. I am very, very strongly in support of having a pool for this town, and that was a centennial pool to celebrate 100 years of Thames, and we must keep that going. So to that person who wrote that question, no, I haven't thought about a cheaper pool. The motion that we had that came through from us on the previous board, we must replace like with like. And to do that, we've settled on a $26.2 million pool, which does do that, like for like. And that's what the people of this town deserve, like for like.
Thanks, Adrian. Thanks for bringing some clarity to that, because I know that's a contentious issue. This one is for Holly. Oh, there's two questions, Holly, and one of them's a pool question. I don't think we'll ask the pool question. I think well, it's a very similar question. Yeah. Yeah, there's two. Yeah. I'm just trying to work out what it will add based on, or do you want to comment on this then? The question is, will you continue to advocate for a sub-regional pool that will benefit individuals and families, schools and sports teams from our district and those of the Matamata and Hauraki and Matamata Piako districts? That's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah. Clear as mud. Yes, so I had a different opinion. My approach was a wider approach, hoping that the councillors from the wider district would be on my side. I wanted the bigger sub-regional aquatic centre to bring in more communities, more functions, more opportunities for sports, bigger events, which would then draw in hopefully more people coming to this town. So to me it was a bigger picture. I will always continue to advocate for that, but I do express that in the end of the day we are all just one vote. So it's very important that voting going forward, that we try to get a group of us, when you do vote, to make sure that we will all try and work together really, really hard, because the outcome in the end of the day is for the community. But yes, I will always fight for that. I'm a go big or go home kind of person. So, yeah, that's me.
Thanks, Holly. Thanks for bringing that perspective in as well.
For Warren, what are the first 3 priorities you would promote if you're elected to the community board?
And you were halfway through them when I interrupted you last time, so apologies for that. First 3 priorities.
First 3 priorities. Wow. I don't have any personal agenda to drive myself, but obviously the pool is a major, and I would certainly like to see the pool issue resolved. I'm certainly with Holly that a sub-regional facility would be optimum. However, we can only do what we can afford, and Thames cannot afford to be without a pool. So if we have to settle for the status quo, then so be it. The other area that I would like to see addressed very strongly is the drug problem in Thames, and the youth and the wayward youth problem in Thames. You know, it's become a critical situation that needs to be nipped in the bud very, very firmly indeed. So I would certainly advocate for putting together a team to address those issues.
Thanks, Warren. And apologies for interrupting you before. There's a couple of questions here that have been directed to everybody, but I think I'm going to ask this one to Glenn. If you are elected, will you commit to getting rid of the red crossings at Mary and Pollen Street, which is the safest and cheapest solution to what is being considered a danger to both drivers and pedestrians and a potential liability to council? There's got to be some history to this.
You sure that was after me?
No.
Okay. It's a bit of a hard one. I personally, I'm glad I never had to put them in as ex-mayor. I think if they're going to be there, they've got to come up to NZTA standards and be raised and done properly. And that's a decision that needs to be made by council. It can be advised by Adrian and his team, but it's a council decision dealing with NZTA, and as I say, my thing is do them properly or go back to just the normal thing, which was a normal pedestrian crossing with the pop light on it and all the rest of it. Not have part of one and nothing of another. Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. For Stuart, what skills do you bring to the community board that will make you a strong candidate?
I think my biggest skill is networking. Like I said before, community board is a conduit between the community and the council. And so having a large network and being able to talk to a wide variety of people, I think is probably my biggest skill.
All right, we've got another question here. Running out of questions and running out of people. This might be the last question, actually. Who am I going to ask this question to? Because it was addressed to everybody. So I think I'll ask this one to... No, I think we've had quite enough of you, haven't we, Steve? Yeah. No. But I already know the answer, because the question is, would you support capping rates? And Steve's already said he'd rather just reduce rates, so there's no point asking you that one, is there? Cole, what do you think about that one? Would you support capping rates? Yes. Sorry, there was a beeping outside when you spoke. So.
The whole rates issue is a whole lot bigger than just we're going to put a cap on. There has to be a whole lot more homework done into how and why and where the rates is charged. For instance, a farmer out towards Purity paying astronomical rates for all his dirt that he only uses 10% of it because half of it's wetland is your big grey area. I partially support capping rates. I'm not going to say yes and I'm not going to say no. Need to do a lot more homework into the rates system.
Thanks, Cole. That was a bit better than yes, wasn't it? That was good. A good explanation there. Thanks. I think there is one last question here. Do you want to ask Adrian this one?
As someone who has been part of the local government for 2 decades, how do you explain the lack of progress on both the paved airfield and the swimming pool? And how do you intend to accelerate the progress of both?
And just on that, I think we've done the pool. Let's just talk about the airfield.
Right, that brought me back to earth, didn't it? Talking about time, yes, I have been on council since I was first elected in 1979, and I've been deputy mayor for 2 terms and things like that, and back on the community boards. I think this is my 6th term on a community board. So, airfield, it is one of my real concerns that we've got 48 hectares of land sitting out there virtually idle and not being utilised. And we got through various means water brought out to the airfield by thrusting a pipe from the water supply out towards Totra and brought it all the way back to the airfield. So we've got water at the airfield now. We have not got wastewater on the airfield. We worked very hard with a previous engineer there to get wastewater out the airfield, and we had a price around about $60,000. That is what we need before we can start to develop it. I want to see the aviator from town go out to the airfield and bring all the tourists back into that area for what he's got, and a conference centre out there. I want to see accommodation on the top of hangars for aircraft, because the Ardmore airfield is slowly but surely closing down as the land, as the housing approaches it. So we want to be able to cater for that out here at the airfield. It'll bring a massive return into this town. But at the moment, 48 hectares, give or take the 2 runways, is sitting there largely wasted, making hay and silage off it. So I'm absolutely strong on the airfield, and I think we should do something about it. It's not one of my platform planks at the moment, but if there's enough feel from the community that that's what they want, then so be it. Our board, this term, was a driver on those things, and will drive anything that you want to bring forward, because we're strong.
Thanks for that. Thanks, Adrian. Great question. I know the community's pretty interested in that one, so I wanted Adrian to sort of finish off his thought pattern. I'm glad we didn't ask him to talk about the pool any longer. But thanks for that. What we're going to do now is the closing statements and giving the candidates the time to put their priorities forward again, and we'll go in reverse order, starting with Warren. I think we get 90 seconds again. So Warren, do you want to kick it off, please?
As I said, we've had a very, very enjoyable time living in Thames. It's a wonderful town, very, very supportive. I'd just like to mention some of the fun things that I've got to experience. Engineering the Sir Keith Park monument at the airport, getting the aircraft up and engineering the sculpture for Sir Keith Park. The involvement in designing and implementing the rail trail shelters has been a really great project that through Rotary, that we've interacted with the other Rotary clubs. We got them involved to help, and that's been a wonderful success. And just doing little jobs around the town, like I made the base for the Maori Power exhibit at the museum. And being able to help out with little jobs like that around the town has been real fun and real enjoyable. The thing that I think that I've enjoyed most about Thames is the lack of precociousness. So many people in Thames just knuckle down, roll up their sleeves and get stuck in. And we thrive so well on our service organisations and voluntary organisations in the town that have to be supported and congratulated. You know, the work that's done is just amazing. And I'll continue to do what I can to offer my support. And I hope that if I get elected to the community board that I can take that to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. Holly, closing remarks.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person who is actually out knees deep in dirt most days out at Rhodes Park. So I say I start from the ground upwards. I'm amongst a lot of the other side of the community, which is that younger side of the generation, a lot of parents, a lot of mums, a lot of kids from, you know, all sorts of walks of life and stuff, and I thrive in a space where I'm a bit different to other people. So as I've pointed out, I am the odd one out in this bunch of handsome men up here. So it's only fair to have a stunning lady. So, you know, I am going to be different. I do bring a different perspective. I have a different voice, and I'm not afraid to use it. I'm proud to be raised by my parents who have made me who I am today and have made me strong and made sure that my voice, my opinion is heard, and my opinion is voiced as the generations that come behind me. So I want you guys to know that as much as I think diversity is very important on all walks of life, that's what worked really well with us for the last 3 years. We had a lot of people in all walks of life dipping into their own little things that they reach out to in the community. So just so you know, moving forward, you know, be aware of that. Be aware of who's representing the community in all walks of life. And you know, I'm happy to be proud to be standing for that, for the woman and for the younger generation and for the sports. You know, I thrive in the sports, and that's where I sort of started from. So yeah, vote for Holly McKenzie. M-A-C-K.
M-A-C-K. Thank you very much, Holly. Cole, don't just say, hi, I'm Cole McDowell.
My name still isn't changed.
Is it M-A-C or just MC?
MC, big D? No, little D stuff. So my name's still Cole McDowell. No, can I just copy and paste what Holly said, sorry, and take out some of the lady bits, and that was an amazing summary there. I love the idea of someone different representing all of us. The next generation coming through. I've got a couple of kids of my own, wife, we're living up towards Kopu there, and just having a safe community for my kids to grow up in that is the goal at the end of the day. Yeah, what more can I say other than I want to protect this place for the next generation after us. Thank you.
Thanks, Cole. I think you nailed it with safe community. Glenn, you all right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, no, look, I think really that looking at the calibre, and I'm not counting myself in this, so there's no ego. I looked at the calibre of everyone that's been up on the stage today, including this great group here that I'm looking at, and I'm really proud to think this is the sort of people that we have around us that's standing to want to take Thames forward. And that really makes me feel so proud. So to me, love the place. I want to give some time to it at this level rather than that level that I'd come out of a few years ago. And to be down here and just help Thames go forward in a positive, direct way will give me a hell of a lot of self-satisfaction. And that's if I'm lucky enough to get there and with the calibre of people that we'll have around us. And I appreciate you people spending the time you have today to come and listen to us and to get an idea of where we may be going. And I'll just finish off on one thing. It's about money. Priorities of what we're spending our money on, and knowing that we're spending money in a way that's progressive for what you people as ratepayers who live within the environment are wanting from us. And that's the key to it, is priorities. Because I've seen a lot of money spent as mayor of this district at some community boards which had no need to be spent. And I say that honestly without any malice. I'm just saying that you cut your cloth to suit what the requirements are. Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn. Closing remarks from Steve in 90 seconds.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. As I've said, my entire career has been a designer, being innovative and coming up with solutions. Not only with a 6B pencil, but sitting around brainstorming with others as well, and also in management, brainstorming with people and coming up with solutions. And obviously, in this sort of position, you need to come up with solutions. But you need to be one from having an informed decision, one that's smart enough to understand what other agendas are going on. I've been in the depth of that for a long time. Now, the Thames ward that we represent goes from Kirito in the north to Hikatoa in the south. Are we representing them? I haven't heard any representation, I haven't seen any representation into Hikatoa or Purity. That's got to change. I live with 5 women. It's quite exciting, really. So yeah, the female input is very valuable, Holly, very valuable, very valuable. I know that. The swimming pool, are we going to spend another $146,000 on another report? There is a plan on the drawing board at the moment for a private facility, a major private facility. So we don't have to spend 26.2 million and another 146,000 on another report. We can support the private facility, and it's going to be a major, it's going to be a national icon. Imagine a national icon of a swimming complex, a water park complex in our backyard. It'll draw the entire region to it. Imagine that.
Bang on, Steve. Look at that. 90 seconds on the money. Thank you very much. Stuart. Some closing remarks, please.
If I can start with a couple of cliches. If you always do what you've always done, then you'll always get what you've always got. I'm, like Holly and Cole said, I'm the younger generation. I'm a new perspective. The other cliche I'd like to share is, if you want to change the world, start in your own backyard. This is my backyard. I'm proud of it. I'm happy to be here in Thames. I love Thames. I'd like to represent you. Thanks.
Thanks, Stuart and Adrian.
Thank you, Mike. Right, very quickly, what I really find exciting about the Thames ward is that we've got 5 mayoral candidates coming out of the Thames ward. That just shows you how we reinvigorated this ward with the community board over the last 3 years, that everybody wants to get into politics. So, my things that I would like to do, first of all, is the Burke Street Reserve, which I managed to save from some sort of development, though they couldn't develop on it, but they wanted to do housing, which I thought, no way, we're going to do housing down there. So I got a petition, got the Burke Street Reserve there. The only place we've got in town for dogs off leash, and I want to make sure that that remains and we increase that. Rhodes Park is #1 on our list. We took the community board out to Rhodes Park, came back and told council staff, no way. For the last 3 years, you put no money in the LTP for Rhodes Park. We want Rhodes Park, and we don't see us coming off Rhodes Park for another 18 to 20 years. So start thinking about what you're going to do to Rhodes Park over the next 18 to 20 years. Don't try and brush it away and think it's going to go at the pool somewhere else. That will not happen. Law and order, which one of the mayoral aspirants raised. Law and order is very strong in my thing, and one thing I've got down there is methamphetamine. The crime in this town is outrageous. We are sitting at around about 43% crime rate in this town compared to other areas. And the driver for crime in this town, the thieving and the car stealing and the breaking into shops and things like that, the driver is getting money to buy methamphetamine. Our water testing at the wastewater plant shows that we have the highest methamphetamine use in this area. And, just to add insult to injury, there's a smack of cocaine coming in, like that smack of cocaine coming out of water. We've got some serious issues here, and we want to do CCTV cameras under the veranda, link up with the police, drive harder with the community patrol, which we've supported for the last 3 years, get CCTV cameras in here and try and crack this. I personally just had a vehicle stolen in the last 2 weeks. I'm over the crime here, and I'm over what methamphetamine does, and methamphetamine was the driver for stealing that vehicle. Excuse that, but there was a reason why the person stole that vehicle to get it, sell it and buy methamphetamine. They didn't know what the value was, obviously.
That might have to be.
Totra Valley Road. Totra Valley Road is critical. If we don't get Totra Valley Road up and running, I'm doing the deputy's 90 seconds now. If we don't get Totra Valley Road up and running, and 70 sections up there, this town is going to slip away. We've got to drive Totra Valley Road, and we'll be right there. Vote, Adrian, vote for the Thames Community Board. We're winners.
Thank you so much. Oh no, thank you. The Adrian Catron Show. Thank you so much, everybody, for.
Wait, this one's going, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you very much, candidates, once again for coming along and sharing your views, answering some tough questions. And my favourite cliche is democracy is the worst of all government or political institutions, apart from every other kind. And that was Winston Churchill. We talked about that yesterday. Yeah. Annabelle, anything to say?
Good luck to everybody.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, candidates.
Don't go, they've saved the best till last, Waikato Regional Council.
Just about to, no worries, just about to say that he's right there.
I've got a couple of questions. Can I just... Yes, I've got it. Was it in a box? Was it in the box? No, I haven't got that one. Oh, I'll check. Okay, I'll check it. Excuse me a sec. Yeah. Where to start? Okay, everybody. Just in the interest of time, let's get you to grab your seats. In the next couple of minutes, we are going to kick off quite shortly. With two gentlemen, one either side of me, waiting very patiently to engage with you. So, out of respect for their time and yours, I think we'll get underway in the next minute or so. If you know anybody out in the foyer, Mary, just go and give them a shout, eh? Thanks. Anybody else interested in any more puns from Adrian? Have we had enough? No? We've had enough. I liked the crack in the water supply one. That was a good one. I think most people missed that one, didn't they? I didn't understand it, but I liked it. All right, look, I love the way a hush just fell over the crowd, which gives me the absolute privilege to get underway with these gentlemen here who will introduce themselves in short order. So what we're going to do, as we have done before, is give each of the candidates 2 minutes to share their... Now this is quite ambiguously worded because it says their vision for the district, and based on the fact that we're talking about the Waikato Regional Council, that in itself requires some repositioning and some interpretation. So I'll let them do that rather than seek to speak on their behalf. So I think what we'll do is we'll have to start with, we'll have to start over here, and I'll get Warren to introduce himself, and then we'll crack into Jason. So, Warren, please take it away.
Righto, thanks for that, Mike. And just a note, first off, my surname is spelled M-A-H-E-R, so when you do see the book, please make sure you look out for that, M-A-H-E-R. Hey, look, good afternoon. My name is Warren Ma, and I'd just like to thank you for staying around and listening to your Waikato Regional candidates. I won't go through everything in my bio. It is behind me, excellent. But I do want to highlight that this role is about governance, and that is one of my key strengths. I currently chair or serve on 6 Waikato Regional Council committees, and to date have attended 115 meetings, and that doesn't include meetings and workshops with your district councils and the many regional council workshops that I've been part of. So my vision is clear: keep rates at or below inflation. You've heard a lot about that, but that means reducing unnecessary spending, such as the $16.9 million that was spent on consultants last year, and ensuring more of your money goes directly to communities and not on administration. For example, it should not cost $211,000 to administer a $300,000 community transport fund, or 14.5% to administer the Natural Heritage Fund. I also serve on the Chief Executive's Employment and Remuneration Committee, where we've called for a review of regional transport. Right now, Hamilton buses are often nearly empty as they run around the city, while here on the Coromandel Peninsula, public transport is virtually non-existent, and that has to change. Earlier, I promised to rebuild the relationship between Waikato Regional Council and TCDC. I've worked hard on this, including through the Thames Protection and Resilience Project. Flooding remains one of Thames's biggest risks, and while work has been done on seawall options, the Karaka stream remains a serious threat, and I will continue to advocate for solutions that combine local knowledge as well as modern technology to support our communities. There are currently 28 community groups receiving funding from our Natural Heritage Partnership, ranging from $1,000 to over $300,000. I will continue to advocate strongly for the continued funding of these groups and the work that they do in the environment, as well as the work that they do instilling a passion for the environment in our youth. That must be close to it because I pretty much timed it at 2 minutes, so I'll leave it there and thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Excellent, Jason, thank you.
In the interest of not having to bend over, I'm going to speak straight to the mic. Kia ora koutou, my name is Jason Roxburgh. I live at Ruamahanga Bay on the Thames coast. We live in one of the finest parts of New Zealand, but also one of the most vulnerable. Our rivers, harbours and forests underpin our economy and our well-being, but they face some real pressures. My vision is we protect and restore these natural systems so they continue to sustain us, while at the same time supporting the industries, jobs and communities that depend on them and that we all rely on. I see a constituency where decisions are made transparently and fairly, that council information is easily available, widely communicated, and where tangata whenua, landowners and community groups all have a genuine voice around the council table. I want to see local concerns taken seriously with practical science-based solutions applied to challenges like water quality, flooding and biodiversity loss. So resilience sits at the heart of all of this. Resilience to floods and storms and sea level rise, but also resilience in our communities and our economy. This means investing in good infrastructure, supporting sustainable land use, and ensuring council spending delivers really good value for ratepayers. So ultimately my vision is where people and nature thrive together, where the environment is protected and enhanced, where future generations inherit Coromandel that's stronger, healthier and more sustainable than it is today. Thank you.
Thank you both. Annabelle, do you want to come out and join me again, and we'll jump into a couple of questions. So, very nice opening remarks, both of you. Thank you very much for that. So what I might do is I'll step back, because then you can actually jump up and do your thing.
So the first question is for Warren. Denise Tagg, the previous WRC representative, used to write a weekly column in the Hauraki Herald to keep us informed. Why have you not done so? And you were interested in fishing, but have you... This is a bit of a confusing worded question. What have you done for our bush, wetlands and waterways? Yeah.
Yep, no, that's right. See, these questions are totally unfilled. We've taken that exactly as it was submitted to us. So, Warren, do you want to have a crack at that one, please? Well, there's two bits to that, obviously.
Sure. Yeah, so, and it was Dennis Tagg, not Denise, but no worries there. So what was the first piece? Weekly comments, yeah. Apologies for that. I do put out a lot of press and media statements. Generally, it has been in the Informer, which I know has fairly good coverage around the peninsula, and I tend to do a monthly article on that. I do have a Facebook page, so please go on and have a look, Waikato Regional Council, and then also tend to push through those posts that come out through our media outlets, through the Regional Council. So do try and keep everybody informed. And consultation is really, really important. It's one of the things, we had our annual plan come out. I put pieces out in the paper. Local radio station, Coromandel FM, been very supportive of regional council messaging. I asked for feedback on local transport options and had very little back. So it's all very well us putting stuff out there, but we need your feedback back as well. Fishing, on the second thing, very quickly. So I have my Commissioner's accreditation. I also co-chair the Hauraki Golf Forum. So fishing, our marine environment is super important to me. I've just sat on the hearings for our coastal plan, for the Waikato Regional Coastal Plan, and you'll hear all about that come September meeting. So you'll get an update on where we are with the fishing and availability, which was always a core issue for me when I first started out 3 years ago, that continued access and availability. Thank you.
I'm going to give you a bit longer if you want to keep going on that, because, I mean, there's two of you, there's some good questions here. Jason will get the same too, so...
Jason doesn't mind?
Jason doesn't mind? You're okay?
Thanks, Jason.
That's just a couple of... if you had any other points to make on... I remember you were interested in fishing, but I wonder what you've done for our bush, wetlands and waterways. There's another related question I'll give to both of you on that, but if you finished up for now, that's fine. If you've got a couple other things to add, then go ahead.
No, I think it finishes up for me on that question. Obviously, we've advocated hard, and the council is a team thing. Any benefits that come out of regional council, you've got to be part of the team. You've got to have 8 around the table out of the 14, or you won't get things through. We work very hard in that wetland space and protecting those areas. Fantastic crew of people that we actually have on the ground working for regional council. And for me, we need to focus on that head office and the wastage that's going on in that space, so that money can get to those really important projects. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Actually, and the rest of that question, and didn't read out. Is that going still? Yep. The rest of that question that Annabelle didn't read out, and I can see why now, is I have no idea what you've done other than collect your salary. So I think that's why she stumbled over reading that paragraph, and fair enough. You
I had to rephrase a little bit.
If the author can pick up one of my brochures, you'll read exactly what I've done.
Thank you for that. And obviously I brought that up in the interest of transparency and also because it was funny. Okay, this one shouldn't be too hard for Jason.
Yeah, so of course it's for Jason. It's a lot shorter. If you're elected, what are the first 3 priorities you would promote for our district?
My top 3 priorities. Protect and restore the environment. Safeguarding rivers and land and biodiversity through practical community-led action is really important to me. I've been involved in it for a very long time. And put environmental health at the centre of council decisions. It's, so protect and restore the environment. Second one's building resilience in communities and infrastructure. I worked for Waikato Regional Council for several years, working in the flood protection, river management area, not in this constituency, in Waihopiako. Saw how important flood protection was and how important it is to maintain with so many people's lives and livelihoods resting upon it. So it's about strengthening flood protection, catchment management and that climate resilience. Ensuring council investments keep people and property and livelihoods safe. That's effectively the guts of that one. And third one is about, I think most councils have transparent, fair governance. What a lot of them aren't so great at is communicating those decisions and showing people where to find information. Waikato Regional Council is really good at having the information, it's just sometimes quite hard to find. So a bit of a focus for me would be on enabling people to be able to find that information. So about keeping rates affordable, focused on core services, and having those decisions made openly, transparently, with the information easily accessible.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Jason. Well answered.
The next question will be for both of you. So we'll start off with Warren though. How could the Waikato Regional Council work better with TCDC to get better outcomes for the natural environment?
Thanks, Annabelle. I think, as I just mentioned earlier, the relationship between Waikato Regional Council and TCDC is really good. Our staff work hard together all the time. Our technical officers, they're working together, the Thames Protection Project, all that sort of thing. So that is happening already. We can look at it maybe improving relationships. And as I say, I've worked hard on building that up this triennium, is with the other councillors. You need to know the councillors on both sides of the table, where they sit, and just getting that voice and that continuity, working with the councillors. So when I came on board, we obviously had a new mayor, came into TCDC, so both of us are building relationships in that space. You had a number of new councillors, etc., 8 new councillors for the Waikato Regional Council. So it's all about building those relationships and then taking it a step further and building those relationships with the strategic partners out there. Jason touched on the hapu and the iwi. The communities there, super important to be able to build relationships to make things work and work our way through the work in front of us for the region.
Thank you. I will repeat the question for you again, Jason. So how could the Waikato Regional Council work better with TCDC to get better outcomes for the natural environment?
I spent most of my working life managing relationships. Face-to-face, kanohi te kanohi is my preferred mode of operating, getting in front of people, being able to communicate decisions and the reasons for them from Waikato Regional Council and taking messaging back from TCDC to Waikato Regional Council is really important. I see part of the role of the WRC councillor to be that conduit at the district councillor level, mayoral level, but also at the community board level. It's something that I'm quite good at and I enjoy, and there's a lot of work that Waikato Regional Council does across this district that I think the ratepayers of TCD or the Thames Environmental District are probably not particularly aware of. So part of my kaupapa, I guess, is to communicate that. Not a lot of people know a lot about what Waikato Regional Council does, or all regional councils do. Part of my interest is, I guess, educating and advocating for that work.
I've got a question for you, both. It's not written down, so I'll just have to kind of frame it in my head. It's often difficult when we receive a rates notice. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? It's really difficult when you receive a rates notice and you see, Waikato Regional Council rates, and it's that part, and then there's the district council rate and all that kind of stuff. What do you think could be done from a regional council perspective to promote or communicate more effectively with the district ratepayer around the effectiveness and the value that they would receive for the investment they make in the regional rate? Who wants to take that first? Oh, it looks like they like that one. Thank you. I think that's the first applause I've got all day, actually. Jump up, thank you, ladies. Jump up and crack it down.
It is a question I get asked a lot. What do we get for our Waikato Regional Council rates? And it's a fair question. How would we articulate that better? Not too sure, really. We have a large communications team, as we both indicated. I think we are crap at actually selling the good stories that are actually out there. When you actually have a look around, there's a massive amount of work, as Jason indicated too, that goes on around the peninsula, in the biosecurity space, in the biodiversity space. There's a hell of a lot of work going on out there, but a lot of people don't realise as well. We run the harbour masters. We've got an issue at the moment with derelict vessels. They're starting to cost ratepayers a fortune. So it's actually probably getting our message out there better rather than reading it on your rates bill, I think, and just seeing what's being done out there. It's such a big thing. Civil defence, heavily involved in civil defence. People traditionally think of us as air, soil erosion control, and water, fresh water, not drinking. So they're the main ones, and people just don't really see the value and the work we do in that space, in the flooding and drainage areas that are out there available for landowners to help plant the high hill country stuff, help riparian margin planting, fencing, etc. I think the last year we've helped 140 kilometres of fencing, over 50,000 plants planted. There's a hell of a lot that's done that we probably don't articulate as well as we should.
I think I'm going to use a quick example. When I worked with Waikato Regional Council, I was asked several times when the WRC rates bills went out, had people call in the office from Thames and ask, why are we paying this flood protection rate? Thames doesn't get flooded. And I found it really interesting to explain that Thames doesn't get flooded because you're paying the rate rather than despite it. So I agree with Warren. The Regional Council does a lot of work. A lot of it's not particularly visible. A lot of it's out on farm or it's up in the backcountry. It's something that needs to be communicated better, and I guess I go back to what I said previously about all of the information that you probably ever want to know about what the Regional Council does is on the Regional Council website. It's just not particularly easy to get to. So being able to make that accessible is something that's really important to me.
Thank you both for your input onto that question. Now you'll each get 90 seconds to add on to your closing statements. Yep.
Thanks again to the Thames Business Association for the opportunity today. This is great. I'm standing for the constituency because I believe our environment, our economy and communities are inseparable. The choices we make now about our rivers, harbours, biodiversities, estuaries, climate resilience and rates are going to shape the future of the whole Waikato region for decades. What I bring, I'm curious, I'm a good listener, I've got quite deep local roots, a lot of practical experience, and I've lived, worked and volunteered across this whole constituency for over 25 years. I've worked inside the Regional Council, Department of Conservation, and currently the QE2 National Trust, and in governance of community organisations. I know the challenges we face, whether that's flooding, around water quality, or supporting sustainable industries, and I know how Council can make a difference when it works transparency, communicates its decisions well, and in genuine partnership with tangata whenua and communities. I bring practical leadership, good fiscal responsibility, and a commitment to listening to local voices. My focus is always going to be balancing environmental protection with economic well-being, so the people and places that we love remain resilient and prosperous. I'd be honoured to have your vote, so thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, so just to finish up, I ask for your support and vote so I continue the hard work that I've been doing for this region over the last 3 years. So in this campaign, I actually stand on my previous votes that I've made in council. So I voted for transparency in all council workshops and meetings. I voted to return $2.5 million of ratepayers' surplus money. I voted to leave local government New Zealand, and I voted to raise the natural heritage rate to support our local Kiwi care and predator control community groups. I believe we can balance economic, social and cultural values while protecting our environment with strong governance, fair rates and better outcomes for our community. So I ask for your support and your vote to continue this important work. This hasn't been a very long time to actually try and get a message out to you there, and really appreciate your patience in staying with us. Please do grab one of my brochures as you leave the room. It's the orange coloured one, and you'll actually see the assets and abilities that I actually bring to the role. Once again, thank you very much. All right. I think that brings us to a close.
Sue's nodding. I always got to check out of my left eye over there what's going on over there. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your involvement, your commitment and for engaging in this discussion here. Thanks to the candidates. You've both ruined it for me because it'd be good to have both of you on board, to be honest. That was pretty impressive. So thank you and good luck to both of you on the in terms of being successful for that. Yeah. Once again, thanks very much for your time this afternoon, and please tell others to get out there and vote. As I said, Thames has one of the highest levels of engagement in local government, and I think that is a credit to us. We're opinionated and engaged, and I think we need to all get out there and demonstrate that. So once again, thank you to the TBA for putting this on, thank you all for coming, and please enjoy the rest of your day. She's got her hand up. Hello.
I'd just like to thank you, the
Thank you very much to Annabelle. Fantastic. I did. It was great fun with the microphones. I particularly enjoyed that session. That was my favourite. Thank you again, everybody. Have a good rest of the day.